Sports Talk, the home of the 9
Ladies.
Happy Monday to everybody. Roars. Buenos dias. How you feeling now? You look
What's
good.
going on, guys? You look good too. You look like
I'm refreshed.
you look like you didn't work yesterday.
I didn't. It's
You look
great.
like you had a bye week.
I had no football this weekend. Other than the football I chose to watch,
Oh, that's a
I had no
good
football.
weekend.
No Dana Hills football. Great season, but it's over.
That's right. It's done.
No college games that I attended. I just watched a lot on
Correct.
TV, horizontal on my couch, which was terrific. And then yesterday, a little golf in the morning, a little football in the afternoon. It was a pretty good day.
It's been a couple months since you played golf.
At least.
That really? Why do I feel like you golf every single weekend?
Nope.
Maybe it's
Not during
Saturday,
football
whatever
season.
it is.
Not during football season starts like middle of August with preseason, and then basically never stops. It's basically every week until you get to the second weekend in January this year, and then golf comes back.
Imagine if you were doing baseball games.
No, never do that.
That's what I'm saying. Like
I love baseball. It's my favorite sport.
I know
never
you
do baseball games.
But football games of all the sports, that's the schedule.
But they play on the weekends, which is a little
Sundays.
bit different. Did you enjoy your day off, Em?
Yeah, I had a great time. I went out with my friends a lot. It was a very fun 2 days. Had my vegan Friendsgiving. It was actually really yummy.
Okay.
It was very good. Yeah.
I tried pitching that. I think their food's actually pretty good. I tried.
Well, most of these things were not a different choice. Most of them, we had a green beans casserole, we had Brussels sprouts, we had mashed potatoes that were just made with vegan butter and
celery,
vegan sour cream, and then somebody made a vegan Wellington.
Okay.
So it was I think it was black bean Wellington or some sort of thing. I didn't try it, but
that good, huh?
I just was not interested. But everybody else seemed to like it because I was like, because it came out of the oven. I was like, Wellingtons. Wait, which one's meat? And they're like, neither.
I'd try it because, and I'd very aggressively want it to be disgusting so I could have a story to tell. Like if a black bean Wellington is good, that's not. Well,
there wasn't enough room on my plate. My plate was really full, so
sure.
I'll send you guys a picture of my plate. It's pretty great, actually.
You didn't not even for a second, okay, I'll take a bite of the black bean Wellington. Yeah, that tells me all I need to know.
You guys did some barbecue on Friday. Was it Friday?
Oh, yeah. Well, we didn't have any barbecue. We just went and had a few beers. Jorge.
Okay, I was going to say, as we're talking vegan food, in my head, I'm like, okay, well, I think you guys were down.
We went to Smoke and Fire, which is a new place downstairs.
Just
here
opened
in LA
up.
Live. Smoke and Fire, Craft by Smoke and Fire.
I thought you would just have layers of meat just standing next to you.
Jorge, we had a pretzel with cheese, which was, I don't know if you've ever tried it, Al, but when you get a soft pretzel and you dip it in warm, melty cheese, it's quite good.
I'm aware of that. I don't know why you're telling me.
Oh, okay. Because my assumption is
I wasn't the one that went and bought it.
We had a bite left, and Travis is like, "Wait, the guy wanted to take the plate." I was like, "No, hold on, man. I gotta." And then Travis is like, "Yeah, go ahead and give it a big dip." And
you got it.
It was good.
You got to get in there.
A couple of cold ones on a Friday afternoon.
Yes, that's what they're called.
That's
what the beer's called, people.
That's not what we did.
Exactly.
We had the beer.
That place looks really nice.
It was great.
They cleaned up these couple restaurants out here in LA Live. Lazy Dog, which opened up a little bit ago as well. That's a nice little front of LA Live now. Got some good restaurants.
How about you, Al? What'd you do?
Well, I mean, Friday, we had to I kind of become a scout for Granite Hills High School football.
Oh.
So Friday, Lincoln was playing Helix.
Did you go or just watch it on TV?
I actually didn't even have it. They live streamed the game Thursday, the Granite game, Carlsbad. But Friday, Lincoln was going to play Helix. Winner of that game is playing this Saturday down at Snapdragon. This upcoming Saturday. They'll play Granite. So, we have to watch film. There's a lot that comes into this. So
did you watch the film?
I did watch the film.
And?
KUSI down in San Diego does the prep pigskin, so they'll take 30 minutes of it and put it together. Lincoln's going to be a tough matchup. It's going to be tough. By the way, is every game going to overtime? This is the same thing. Double overtime, Helix and Lincoln.
This time of season, everybody's pretty evenly matched. You're not playing any more cupcakes along the way.
But weekend was good.
SC.
We had a Friday game. We had a Sunday game. So Lakers are cramming in as many games as they possibly can. But Saturday, just kicked back and chilled.
Do any of you guys know how long the 10 freeway is supposed to be closed? Do we have any idea of what that's going to be like? Because that's impacting my life in a very negative way at the moment.
Yeah, I know a similar thing happened in Philadelphia on the 95 earlier this year, and it was like a month that it took to get that, and that was quick for that. So it's also a freeway. It doesn't have as much like usage as this one does, but it still has a lot of usage. You got to make sure it's safe. But yeah, I'm sorry. It might
Jorge,
be a
did you
long
get
time.
wiped out?
I did, and according to the news, with the rain expected this week, it can even prolong it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, no
Because
estimate.
they don't-
Yeah,
no
that's
estimate.
Good.
That's
Wonderful.
my favorite
Yep.
update.
That's good
Yeah.
because what you want to do is cut off one of the major arteries into the downtown
Exactly.
area, especially one that I'm on every day. That stretch
Makes
that
a lot
it's
of
closed every single morning. That's the part that I'm on. Not today. I'm like, I'm smart. I knew it was close. I'll go.
You know what it is. Everybody's
Everybody's
doing that.
Where'd you go, Soto?
Wasn't the only. No, so I came from the south side. I came up 110 in the downtown as opposed from the east side.
Yeah.
Didn't really. So did everybody else.
I was just going to say, there's no way to win that matchup.
No. So I may be getting here around 4 a.m. for the rest of this week. I don't know.
The fallout from that looks like apocalyptic, though. Have you guys seen the pictures of what it looks like underneath there?
I have
it looks
not.
scary because
does.
it's all the
So
all
it
the beams
burned?
are melted.
Yeah.
So
no,
a
it's
fire started, and there was a bunch of like shipyard things, or
storage
whatever,
containers,
underneath of it.
cars, yep.
So it all
Trucks.
caught on fire, and burned. And it's the structure, like it was burning the cement with how hot it was.
That's a problem.
yeah.
That seems like something.
That wasn't
you're
one of
gonna wanna-
Stay
those
safe out
where
there,
you can
guys.
just have like a couple cones, close off a lane or two, and just say,
CHP
hey.
flares that get you over to the right shoulder and then right back onto the freeway. All right, so hey, somebody give me a Comrex. So that this may be the impetus to work remotely.
No
again.
joke here about the not seeing the video. Go see the video.
Yeah, I just sent that to you guys.
Yeah, in my head, I'm like, yeah, why don't you guys take your time on that one?
Here's the problem. If I see the video, I'll probably never go that way again because you can never convince me that it's fixed properly. So I'll probably just go around for the rest of my life. Once I see something like that, it messes me up for a while.
Travis, you would have been proud of my friends this weekend. So on Saturday night we were hanging out. We went to a brunch place, and I'll talk about that a little later. But after brunch, we were like, let's keep the party going. Let's go somewhere else. So we went to another bar that was a walking distance, and it was like a sportsy bar, and there was all these like tables that were like marked off, like this is reserved for Duke at this time, and then reserved. So when we got there, it was Mizzou and Tennessee, and it was a huge group of Mizzou people that were cheering their butts off and like literally flexing to each other like, yeah, we scored, we scored. And so my friends and I, we are so aggressively rooting against Mizzou.
Of course.
They were kicking the crap out of Tennessee at that point in time. And so I would think that
Were
you
you
would
flexing?
fit in very well.
Oh no! The hate watch of another team is one of my favorite.
Because they were being so annoying
That's right.
and so loud. But I mean, that's their purpose. They're having like a alumni watch party, and that's fine. But they were being obnoxious.
It's fine to have it. It's fine to get invested in it, but it's also okay for the Emilys and Travises of the world to root against them.
And again, flex back at them when Tennessee scored
did
a
you do that?
3-point. No, we didn't do it, but we did clap. We were like, yeah, go Volunteers.
Was this the bar that had the mechanical bull?
It is not the bar that had the mechanical bull. Okay, so the first bar had the mechanical bull. So
You ever been on a mechanical bull sleigh?
I have not recently or ever.
So
Jorge?
Yeah, we rented one for a party once.
Okay,
fun.
Yeah.
coming back to that. Go ahead, Emily.
So it's like we went to this place called Saddle Ranch, and again, if people know this place, you're rolling your eyes at me right now. Yes, we went there. It's a very influencer heavy space, and it's kind of like people want to be seen there. But my friend wanted to go, so I was like, sure, whatever. And they had cheap bottomless brunch, so $20 bottomless brunch. They just emphasized over and over again to us that you have to buy an entree. We're like, we get it. We're going to buy an entree. We're going to buy an entree. So
What'd you get?
I got a salad.
Okay.
Because I wanted, the champagne to do more of the work.
You don't want any meat getting involved in that champagne flow.
It's like a very much like a Western bar. It's like trying really hard to be like a cowboy bar or whatever. So we get there at 11:30. My friends actually got there 20 minutes early, which is insane for LA. But we got there at 11:30, and by 1 p.m., half of the party was riding the mechanical bull. Like, you had to sign a waiver, and you get on the mechanical bull, and
what's on
have a
the
good time.
ground beneath the bull?
So there's essentially like a bouncy.
Rocks.
It's an inflatable kind of thing. Yeah.
It's like what surrounds it is like a bouncy house essentially. So it's
Okay.
like not like a one, but like the
So you're not
material.
getting flung onto like a hardwood floor or,
No.
or tile. You're landing on something a little softer.
And what they do is obviously they go harder on the guys than the girls because people want to see the girls on the mechanical bull.
Well, sure.
The guys who want to fling them off as quick as possible.
Sure. Also true.
That's essentially what happened. My friends.
Did anybody take a spill that made you go, okay, that's gonna be messed up? Or
No,
is
it wasn't going fast enough that
Okay.
people could get really, really flung off there. But yeah, no, my friends did it. I did not do it. I was like, you go off, guys, but not my thing.
So Jorge, you've ridden a mechanical bull.
Yeah, so Brenda's family likes to throw parties, especially during the summer time. So I think it was Brenda's cousin's birthday party. If I might be wrong, but they rented one, and it was just fun. They put kids on there because you can at some
Right.
point they let you control it. But I rented some. We rented one for the family, and then at a local fair, like you ride those things, and
They actually ended up buying it cash, and they
Exactly.
rent it out now moving forward.
yeah. So if you want one for $200,
Did you get on it?
I did.
And how
It's-
long did you get your 8? Is 8 seconds is the goal,
Well,
right?
8 seconds.
You need to
is
have
the
your
goal.
one hand up.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you gotta hang on for dear life while whoever's But at that point it was either Renee or somebody like you doing
Controlling
it. For you.
it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's what makes it fun when you rent one. Sometimes they'll allow you to control it at your own pace.
Did you get flung off or did you survive?
They try, yeah. So they'll try to do anything, and then the guy will teach you like, okay, if you want to make that happen, you do it like this and like that, and it's just,
There's an art to it.
Yeah,
I'm sure there is.
There is. But it's fun.
But
It's
call
fun.
in if you have mechanical bull riding stories. I'm sure those are pretty funny. So 877-710-3776. You have a funny mechanical bull story.
Next time when you have tacos and football,
We'll get a bull?
I'll bring it over.
Honestly, would make that party pretty
That's
fun.
not bad.
You don't even have to do it. You just have to watch people go in the bull.
So look, before we add the bull, we need to add the fruit guy. Like we've already
yeah.
talked
Fruit
about we got
guy.
the taco
Let's
guy,
get
fruit
jump.
guy.
Let's get
Speaking of fruit guy,
all right.
I had a dream. Remember when we had the tamales right here?
Sure.
Carlo wanted tamales. I had a dream that I walk in here and everybody's eating fruit. I'm like, whoa, who brought the fruit cart? Let's make it happen.
Power of suggestion. We'll get the umbrella. We'll get the rainbow umbrella. We'll set the
Exactly.
whole thing up, and we'll be ready to go. All right, so a great weekend in the NFL. A lot of close games and some college games here locally that are pretty illuminating, right? I think we know exactly what we have on both of the local college programs. That's coming up next. It's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN. And for the ones who get it done, Grainger offers high-quality supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as access to product specialists who have the knowledge and experience to answer your toughest question. Plus, their commitment to being your safety partner can help you keep your facility safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets?
Yes.
We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win. You listen every day to all the shows and take notes. If you can answer 5 questions about what happened on the show that day, you're eligible to win.
And don't forget, on Fridays, your chance to call in all 5 right answers, and you are in the fifth row at Crypto.com Arena for a Lakers game.
For free! Big news, Laker fans. John Ireland here. You can now stream every Lakers game on the ESPN LA app. Don't miss a second of the action with Michael Thompson and I on the call. Plus, all your live and local Lakers talk every day in the palm of your hand.
You're one tap away from everything Lakers.
You could even win Lakers tickets.
Download the ESPN LA app and bam!
Download the ESPN LA app at the App Store and Google Play.
So you're the last hope of 710, Slee.
That's not good.
You're the last hope. Slee is the last person here at the station that's alive in our eliminator pool.
Okay, Slee.
I got knocked out this weekend. Mason got knocked out this weekend. Greg Bergman got knocked out this weekend.
Cates is out.
Cates is out this weekend. We all made it to week 10. You were the only one to survive.
Okay, very lucky might be the right way to put it. I picked the Steelers. Steelers was my pick this weekend. And it was just because they're playing Green Bay.
So you picked against the Packers. You
I
didn't pick
picked against the Packers. They were playing at home. We had just watched the Packers and the Lions, or the Packers and the Rams, and it looked like the worst game that I've ever seen. So I went with that, and it was going to go Cincinnati. Ended up last second not taking Cincinnati. So, yeah, I guess I'm still in this thing.
Cincinnati took out me and Bergman for sure because Boyd couldn't hold on to a touchdown pass that was right in his hands. You catch that, we probably escaped by the skin of our teeth, but just...
And C.J. Stroud was cooking.
C.J. Stroud's really good.
Yeah, C.J. Stroud is officially a good quarterback and has potentially a good career.
He looks like he's the real thing.
But I would a lot of there's a reason why so many people were eliminated this week.
It was the biggest spread on the board of teams that a lot of people still had, like Dallas over the Giants and Tommy DeVito. Nobody ever had already used Dallas. You couldn't use Dallas anymore. And Tommy DeVito, had I known Tommy DeVito was going to be a guy in my life, I might have saved picking against Tommy DeVito, but you got to win now. So you got now I got 10 people left.
I got to think about
11?
10 people left.
That's a real shot.
I got to figure out, and I haven't looked at any of the games. We can't look. Technically, I could go look on ESPN, but I got to see who I have left. Basically, I think I still have Cincinnati left, but I can't use them this weekend.
And they're a tricky pick because they have had games where they haven't looked great, and the games that they look like they're world beaters, and also it's like almost quarters. They have really good quarters, and hopefully those win for him.
Pittsburgh at Cleveland. Taking it, you probably don't want that. That's a
neither
hard game
team
to call. Mm-hmm. Chicago at Detroit. Have you taken the Lions yet?
Actually,
that's your pick if you haven't taken the Lions.
The Pittsburgh-Cleveland game, I get it, but Cleveland's actually going pretty good. They went at Baltimore.
Pittsburgh
very good.
beat them last time.
Yeah.
But this is at Cleveland. But it's a risky. It's a risky pick.
I would not
do
that
pick.
game.
Okay, I'll tell you what I have left.
Do you have Detroit left?
I have not used the Lions.
They play the Bears in Detroit.
That's a slam dunk.
That's about as good of a number as you're going to find.
Perfect.
There you go.
Yeah, I have not used them yet.
Now, you understand you just took the advice of a person that is already knocked out and someone who's not playing.
And somebody that when they paid for, they never did it.
That's right. Yeah, somebody that got a free entry and said, that. By the way, the interface on that thing does kind of suck.
Honestly, most divisional matchups you do not want to take, obviously, because the teams know each other. It can be off and on, but the Bears is pretty much a slam dunk to take them against the Lions against the Bears.
The Lions scored 41 points yesterday against the Chargers. Well, I guess a better way of looking at it is the Chargers scored 38 points yesterday against the Lions, and I never for 1 second thought the Chargers might win that game.
That honestly is the best description that I've heard. I was just upset that it was that close because they had one shot. They showed Dean in the suite, and he was eating some popcorn and looked like he was having a good time. Like, I don't like this. The game's too close. But then by the end, when they lost, I hate that they don't go back to the owner and show his face again because that's where I really want to see him.
I know that we've spent a lot of time talking about Brandon Staley being a bonehead when it comes to like decision making, right? That the decision to call timeout against the Raiders a couple of years ago kept them out of the playoffs. The decisions that he made last playoff year where they blew nearly a 30-point lead at the half against Jacksonville, they lose that game. The constantly going for it on fourth down in your own territory when you don't have to do it. We've gone through his decision making and the bad decisions that he's made ad nauseum. Can we just talk simply about the fact that this is supposed to be a defensive-oriented head coach, right? He's the defensive coordinator of the Rams and put together a pretty good defense. His offense had 421 yards of offense yesterday and lost. His defense gave up 533 yards of total offense. And by the way, this is how they lose over and over again because their defense can't get a stop. They got the right quarterback. Kellen Moore is doing the right thing. They score a bunch of points, but your defensive-minded head coach is giving up 40 every single week. It's bananas. Just a bad
200
coach.
yards just rushing.
Yeah.
Jared Goff, 333 with 2 touchdowns. They pretty much scored on every possession.
Since 2021, which is when Brandon Staley became the head coach of the Chargers have given up 112 plays of at least 25 yards or more.
Seems
so
like
they're
a
just
lot.
getting cooked on these long plays. It's just insane.
Wait, hold on a second. Say that again. Don't go through that as fast. How many plays of 25 yards or more?
Since 2021,
Okay.
the Chargers have given up 112 plays of at least 25 yards, according to True Media.
So in 2.5 seasons, they've given up over 100 plays of 25 or more yards.
Yes.
That seems like too many.
Probably a little bit too much. Probably too much.
Like, we talk about his decision, like he's got to go because of the decision making. He's got to go for being a bad football coach. Never mind for being a bad decision maker. He's got to be going for just being a bad football coach. You can't give up 500 yards of offense every week. You can't give up 100 plays of 25 yards or more in 2.5 seasons and look your guys in the locker room in the eye and say, hey, I got this week,
Especially
guys.
when you're a defensive guru. Like, if you go in your interview, say, hey, I was a defensive coordinator for the Rams. I know defense at the back of my hand. And then you're like, oh, well, you actually don't.
I think any justification for anyone to make on anything Brandon Staley related, I feel like every week we're just finding like, oh, well, there's a new wrinkle that I didn't know about. Listen, Dan Campbell, I don't know if you watched the first half, or at least the first half.
I did not see the first half.
Okay, first half, there was, I want to say, 4 different plays he went for it on fourth down.
He goes on fourth down every time.
Goes for it on fourth down. And has this, almost looks like he just wants to get in the game and have some type of a block to just get that first down, whatever it is. Dan Campbell's super aggressive as well. But I think a lot of the times, you know, where you question, should he be doing it, should he not? If the results are working, that's going to change it. If they're not working, then he's going to get the same type of heat that a guy like Staley gets, but the difference is one team's winning, the other one's not.
There's got to be something incredibly liberating about being immune from getting blown out. Mm-hmm. That you know that, hey, 500 yards, you're fine. Make an active decision that prevents you from going, you're fine. Blow a 30-point lead, you're fine. Keep going forward on fourth down on your own 17-yard line. You're fine. Like, what would he have to do to get fired at this point?
Finish
There's
your
no
contract
consequences.
so he doesn't have to pay another coach.
Is it as simple as that?
I think that's what it is. I think he still has this year and next year. So,
but the whole thing too is like if you're coaching without consequences, then there's no incentive for you to play super well. I mean, it's not exactly, but it's kind of like the Dodgers.
He wants
Dave
to coach
Roberts.
well. He's just not a good coach.
Would he not be better served getting fired so we can stop seeing how bad of a coach he is? Because everybody, you get 2 bites at the apple, right?
Yeah.
Everybody gets the first job, and even if it doesn't go well.
And this is his first job.
And this is his first job. So he will get a second bite at the apple. Just about everybody does. Even Josh McDaniels, who was a terrible head coach in Denver, got a second job with it. Now he won't get another one because we know. Like, if I'm Brandon Staley, I'm kind of hoping, like, the more data points I get on him, the less likely it is that he gets a second gig. Like, please fire me.
But they're hanging around just enough to where they can commit. Listen, before the season even started, everybody was saying it's not just you and I. There's a lot of Charger fans that have been saying the same. They need a new coach. This guy's only going to be able to take them so far. He's 4-5. He's hovering around 500. They probably end up with 8 or 9 wins this year, and it's just enough for Dean to say, I'm going to keep this guy around. I don't think after this year he'll keep him, but I think the remainder of the season he'll stay.
But it's the idea that they're only in these games because of their offense.
Yes.
And again, because
their offense is so much fun to watch, by the way.
It's Kellen Moore probably is coming in and doing
Herbert
so well.
was really good yesterday.
He's good.
He's
Keenan
had
Allen
the
good.
games.
Eckler's good.
Yeah,
they're just fun to watch.
Well, and they have talent
all over the place.
And that's, I think we were talking about this a couple weeks ago, how little talent the Rams have versus how much talent the Chargers
night
have.
and day.
And if you just swap those two coaches, what's McVay going to do with that talent versus what Staley's doing with that talent?
It's night and day, and you look at the Chargers' schedule the rest of the way. The Chargers are going to be 8-9 or 9-8.
Yeah.
Like they're going to land right around there because they have just enough games against good teams that they'll probably lose all of them and probably sneak out one win. They've got just enough amount of games against bad teams that they'll probably win all of them but blow one that they're not supposed to.
Yeah.
And it'll kind of even itself out, and they're going to be 8-9, 9-8 when it's all said and done. And
what
to
gets
your
you
point,
in?
Slee,
What gets you in the AFC?
I think 10 is going to have
You
that.
need
'cause
10?
Right
Oh,
now,
yeah, there's a ton of teams.
They're in 12th place. They're in the same spot that the Rams are. Now, they have more wins than the Rams,
Yeah.
but relatively speaking, conference to conference, they're in the same spot. And
Cleveland and Pittsburgh 5-6 at 6-3.
Right. Well, that whole division, the AFC North, the entire division may end up going to the playoffs.
They could.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they've got 4. They've got Baltimore's
Bengals and
really
Buffalo
good.
at 8-9.
Yeah. No, it's going to take some time.
Yeah.
ESPN 710 live from Sunday Swagger headquarters this Friday, 4 days from right now, 1 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. You can join Mace, Cappy, producer Lindsay, corporate Greg, and, of course, Morales for the Sunday Swagger Black Friday sale. Tons of deals. Great gifts for the holidays. It's that time, Slee. You got to start picking up gifts for people. It's at 22687 Old Canal Road in Yorba Linda, so you'll get to hear that 1 to 5:30 this Friday live from the Sunday Swagger HQ.
Did you make it to the golf tournament on Friday?
Just missed it. By the time I got there, they had already packed up and left.
Because the 10 was
closed.
Yeah, there was.
Had that happen?
I think it was like Saturday, maybe even.
By the way, you can stop sending me pictures of that. I'm good. Don't need the freeway. I'm 100% good. Like now I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to drive over that ever again. Right? We've talked when we had our irrational fear draft, and I told you guys I don't like going up over those high overpasses.
Yep.
And I don't like crossing underneath them. I'd really rather not think about it. And now that I know that thing has been compromised, it's going to make me a little uncomfortable.
They're going to redo it completely.
I'm not. I trust the engineers that will redesign it, but I could go around the other way too. Add maybe 10
honestly,
more minutes.
It's a couple 2x4s. That thing is right back at it in no time.
Tape and
paper
clips. Right?
I really don't like thinking about that. I really don't like.
Guys, we need a ton of duct tape.
Here's my problem. This is how I've done every project in my life. That's probably good enough. That's fine. Because if it collapses, nobody gets hurt.
We have a desk that we put together. This was a year ago. Not a big desk, small desk like this. Nothing's, bro, it's like.
It wobbles?
Oh, my gosh. I look at it wrong. It's just like this. I don't even know how to describe it. I don't even know why I'm typing. I'm getting seasick while I'm typing on my desk.
I don't need that. I don't need a bridge. I don't need any of that stuff.
That's why you're not an engineer.
One of many reasons. That and the fact that you got to be good at math. Seems like that was an important part of engineering that I really didn't have locked down. College Football Corner coming up next. Not a good weekend for SC and UCLA. That's next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. Saw my guy Mike Capozio on TV no fewer than 485 times this week. I saw him during the Laker game, watched the Ducks last night, watched Sunday Night Football. Everywhere you turn, you see Mike Capozio from Rotolo Chevrolet because he's getting the word out, right? That the customer service at Rotolo, second to none. That the deals you're getting at Rotolo, second to none. That the inventory at Rotolo, it's just a sea of Silverado and Chevy cars and trucks. If you're looking for that new Silverado, if you're looking for your new Chevy, get yourself to Rotolo Chevrolet. Right off the 210 freeway, Sierra Avenue exit. It's right there. You can't miss it. Every make and model that you can think of is right there at the price that you've been looking for. And the customer service, forget about it. You're going to call somebody and go, Travis was talking about the customer service at Rotolo. He wasn't kidding. Go find out for yourself what all the fun is about from everybody at the dealership, from Mike Capozio right on down. They're going to make sure that you have the customer service experience of your lifetime. RotoloChevy.com, ROTOLO, RotoloChevy.com. But go on into the store in Fontana and tell them that Travis sent you.
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets?
Yes.
We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win. You listen every day to all the shows and take notes. If you can answer 5 questions about what happened on the show that day, you're eligible to win.
And don't forget, on Fridays, your chance to call in all 5 right answers, and you are in the fifth row at Crypto.com Arena for a Lakers game.
For free. Big news, Laker fans. John Ireland here. You can now stream every Lakers game on the ESPN LA app. Don't miss a second of the action with Michael Thompson and I on the call. Plus, all your live and local Lakers talk every day in the palm of your hand.
You're one tap away from everything Lakers.
You could even win Lakers tickets.
Download the ESPN LA app and bam!
Download the ESPN LA app at the App Store and Google Play.
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets?
Yes.
We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win. You listen every day to all the shows and take notes. If you can answer 5 questions about what happened on the show that day, you're eligible to win.
And don't forget, on Fridays, your chance to call in all 5 right answers, and you are in the fifth row at Crypto.com Arena for a Lakers.
Big news, Laker fans. John Ireland here. You can now stream every Lakers game on the ESPN LA app. Don't miss a second of the action with Michael Thompson and I on the call. Plus, all your live and local Lakers talk every day in the palm of your hand.
You're one tap away from everything Lakers.
You could even win Lakers tickets.
Download the ESPN LA app and bam!
Download the ESPN LA app at the App Store and Google Play.
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets?
Yes.
We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats
It's
are better
also
than the...
obviously the biggest game of the entire weekend was between Michigan and Penn State. Michigan was without their head coach Jim Harbaugh because of the sanctions from Big Ten.
No,
so
he had vacation time.
Right, of
So
course.
he had
PTO.
he took a day off.
he was not able to be at the
You
game
have to
because
use
of
it before the end of the year.
It's like your flex spending account. If you don't spend it on contact lenses in the last week, you lose it.
yes, and so he was able to speak after the game. But I'm gonna play really quick a piece of sound of Sharon Moore, who stepped in and was the coach for Michigan over the weekend.
I want to thank the Lord. I want to thank Coach Harbaugh. Love you, man. Love the out of you, man. This is for you. For this university, the president, our AD. We got the best players, best university, best alumni in the country. Love you guys. These guys right here. These guys right here, man. These guys did it. These guys did it, man. Talk to him, man. Love you.
All right, and so if you didn't see it, he is also crying the entire time. And it sounds like Jim Harbaugh's dead from what Sharon Moore said, but he is not dead. This is what he said after the game. After the game, he said...
This is Harbaugh.
Harbaugh said this about how Michigan should be America's team. So I'm going to play it right here, right now.
And then just the stalwartness of these guys. I mean, yeah, Watson, I would have to say, everybody. It's got to be America's team. It's got to be America's team. America loves a team that beats the odds, beats the adversity, overcomes what the naysayers and critics, so-called experts think. That's my favorite kind of team, and watching it from that view on the television.
Go ask Alex Bregman and Carlos Correa and Jose Altuve if they felt like they were members of America's team. See how they respond to that.
Do you feel any differently about Michigan than you do with the Astros? Obviously, the Astros did it to the Dodgers.
Yeah. It's the right question. I feel differently because I don't feel like Michigan took something off of my plate. I feel like the Astros did, so it hits a little bit differently there. But the fact of the matter is, there isn't a huge... You know what their record is since this scheme allegedly unfolded?
What?
35-3 now. That seems like a pretty good record. Now, they're really good. They got good players and all these things, but that's a lot. That's a lot of wins and very few losses. And one of the stories that we thought where they didn't have them was when TCU knew and they kind of threw some bogus stuff out there, and TCU put it on them. So how legit is it?
I think it's literally exact opposite of what he just said. It is not America's team. You now have people who had no interest in Michigan and didn't give a flying you-know-what rooting against them. So the definition of America's team, everyone's galvanizing behind the group, all this stuff, I don't think anybody feels that way. But you know what? I don't think part of me thought he was like trolling everybody when he was saying it.
He might have been, by the way.
He might have been like that. I could see him.
He would do that.
I
Jim
could
Harbaugh
see
would
him
do that.
try to do something like that, where he's saying, "You know what? Look at us. This is America's team." Everybody's. I fall more on that than him actually believing that people would now start supporting Michigan. That's a tough.
Also, before
parallel.
the game, why I said bet was because everybody that's been associated with Michigan, any alumni, any players, all the players on the team, all tweeted out bet before the game. And obviously they won the game, but it was
I'm glad that you
I wish they didn't.
I'm glad what you said, Em, about Coach Moore, the assistant coach who was, kind of the de facto head coach for the day, the interim head coach. That I get it. You're emotional. You were handed something at the last minute and said, go lead these guys into a game. And I don't have a problem with somebody being publicly emotional. That's fine. But I agree with you. Jim Harbaugh's not sick or dead. He just was told to go home for cheating.
And they did the same thing earlier this season with the 3 suspensions. They all did up and threw out the numbers for him. And you're like,
yeah, it's like
he did something wrong.
Right. This is not something that he wasn't involved in an accident. There wasn't something going on in his family. Like it's not sad.
He broke the rules and has to pay for breaking the rules.
And
he's sad about that.
Well, he's sad. It's sad. Sounds sad like you would be if somebody were sick or injured. It was peculiar. What's next, Em?
Well, that's College Football Corner.
Wait, I'm an idiot.
It's
for a
because
variety of reasons.
The draft is coming up.
Were you thinking that this is factor
cap?
No.
The draft is 10:30.
No, you know what I thought it was? Yeah. Thought we might be doing a little hot and cold right there.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
little 2 hours early.
Like I said, I admit, I confess to being an idiot.
I think it's the whole road closure that's gotten you all in a tizzy.
Can I ask you a question? What has your keyboard done to you that you are so aggressive?
What do you mean?
Against your
gosh,
keyboard.
This is all the time, Alan.
Do you know what I'm talking about here?
All the time. You're a hunt and pecker.
No, it's a typewriter.
And
it's a typewriter.
You really push on these keys. Like I'm very worried about your Mac that it's gonna fall apart.
All I'm just saying to myself, and it was, I don't know why during the last break, it was what it was, but I'm like, I kind of feel bad for the laptop.
I mean, I'm not mad at my laptop. I love my laptop. It's one of my most valuable possessions.
How do you type like this, or you type?
No, he hunts and pecks.
I use
you
these
go in
6
3.
fingers.
Yeah.
Okay. But
that's not loud enough.
It's like you're so mad at it. Everything
can tell.
is just going like
Alan,
this.
let me tell you a
Look at
story.
him in the eyes. I'm
I'm
nervous.
Mason's louder.
Every Sunday when we're doing Rams or whatever, it's either here or it's at SoFi Stadium. You can tell Travis's feelings about the game with how harshly he types at his laptop. Sometimes if the Rams are doing pretty well, it's like
he's gonna dislocate his shoulder.
It's especially after like an interception. It's so loud.
I'm not disagreeing. If you both have had the same experience, it's obviously happening.
You're gonna jam your thumb.
But I'm not. My only thing that I would like to at least mildly push back on. I don't feel like I'm typing aggressively based on what I'm looking at in the football. I may just type aggressively. I don't know.
I notice a difference.
Okay.
And when you're a little angry with Matthew Stafford's interceptions,
well, I don't
that the
timeouts.
espresso machine is broken.
I don't think he's angry at the moment.
No, I'm
and
in a good
you
mood
went
today.
at him.
I'm in a really good mood today.
Sorry, we just had to get that out about your laptop.
I did get a little angry yesterday. So this and this all could. This is Kurt Sandoval's fault. I believe that he put this out there in the universe when he accused me of being 63 years old, and I'm 51.
Poor guy. He felt so bad when.
My mom's 63. Okay, it's a
every
lovely
time
age.
I talk to him about
63
it,
unless you're 51, and then someone thinks you're 63. If you're 63, great. If you're 68 and someone thinks you're 63, great.
Be the Golden Bachelor.
So playing golf with my buddy, and
G-Fish.
Not G-Fish. So we're out there, and we get paired up with 2 guys, really nice guys. We're having a good time. And they're talking about work. And I have nobody has asked me, nor have I volunteered what I do for a living. And so finally one of the guys says to me, the other guys and the other twosome, again, really nice guys, enjoyed my company with them a great deal. I play with them 100 times out of 100. He looks at me and goes, so are you retired?
You could be. You could be retired at 51. You could be so rich.
I don't think that. He didn't know how old I am.
What were you wearing?
Basically this.
So it's probably not you're retired because of your wealth.
No.
Because I know you like that. You have, was it Gucci that you typically wear when you golf?
Yeah, right.
The Gucci belt. And
he
the
asked me if I'm
Rolex.
retired.
Yeah.
I'm not. And it wasn't like to your point, I wasn't rolling around in a diamond encrusted golf cart. I was just out there playing golf with other people. He's talking to my buddy Brad, and he's like, so you work for Cisco. How long you been there? You enjoying it? This, that, and the other. So are you retired? No.
I've been retired for 9 years.
It's aggressive. It made me feel a certain way.
I like how Emily's mom's 63 and that's lovely, but I'm 35 and I'm old.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
Okay, I'm sorry, my mom's also old
Retired.
because she's my mom.
Yeah,
That
but last week the
bothered me.
35-year-old. I get it. That I would have stopped playing golf with him.
Not what do you do? Not so. It was immediately to are you retired?
That's not. I mean, that's not on you. As in whatever your
It's on my
appearance
face.
may be. That's on him. What the hell kind of a question is that? Even if I'm playing with somebody
It's a good
that's
question,
77 years old and I know is retired, I'm probably not asking if he's retired until he tells me he's retired.
Right. Or you could just say, so what do you do? But he was so safe in his assumption that I was of a certain age where retirement was not only possible, but likely that he just fired out.
Does it
are
make you
retired?
think about another way to express yourself that you want to seem younger, seem more youthful?
No, I don't feel like it's my demeanor as
Okay.
much as it is my physicality. I feel it's more.
You have to get to the bottom of it.
What if what I'm going to start to do? I'm going to start to shoe polish my beard. So it's just like jet black and see if people will start to reassess my situation.
All right, $1 Million Mondays is back on 710 thanks to Hollywood Park Casino. Listen all day, every Monday for your chance to win. All you have to do is give us your Super Bowl prediction, both teams and the final score, and you could be winning $1 million. And just for playing, you'll get 2 tickets to a game at SoFi on December 3rd. $1 Million Mondays on 710 ESPN, of course, is presented by Hollywood Park Casino. Eat, drink, play.
Hollywood Park Casino will be there this Sunday, right?
We will.
Yeah.
125 kickoff against the Seahawks. So about 4:30-ish is when the postgame show will start for us on Sunday afternoon.
Roll through. You can do ask Trav and Kirk some questions.
Yeah.
You can go back and forth with the guys. We want to make it like an experience for everybody.
We've got an Ask Slee coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN. Big news, big news. Next Gen is the official AC heat and plumbing company of SoCal sports fans. And now we're in the time of the year where you could have your heat on one day and then need to have your air conditioning on the next day. So why not make sure that your system is running at its absolute best? And right now you can get a 28-point full heat and AC safety inspection and a tune-up, just $44. That's right, only $44 to ensure that your system stays running strong all year long, and they're even going to toss in a free air filter at no extra charge. And if you're sick of dealing with that slow drain in your house, how about a drain cleaning with camera inspection also for just $44? Here's how you do it. You call 833-3-NEXTGEN. That's 833-3-NEXGEN and say goodbye to your AC, heating, or plumbing problems. Again, that's 833-3-NEXTGEN, 833-3-NEXGEN, or you can go online at nextgenairandplumbing.com to schedule online.
The return of $1 Million Monday. The return of $1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
Your chance to win $1 million from 710 ESPN.
Listen every Monday this football season for your chance at $1 million. $1 Million Mondays
Presented by Hollywood Park Casino. Eat, drink, play.
Listen every Monday to 710 ESPN. When you hear the cue to call, be caller number 7. Give us your Super Bowl prediction, both teams and the final score, and you could be winning $1 million this football season on LA's $1 Million Mega Sports Station, 710 ESPN. the visit to Harrah's Resort SoCal. Voted best resort in funner California. From dining to unwinding, you'll find fun around every corner. Learn more at harrahssocal.com. Let's get to it. Ask Slee right now.
X gonna give it to you.
Wrong button, sorry.
That's just for the record. That's never the wrong button. That's always one that I like. Yet another one, Em. What was your other rap lyric that you had recently? I don't know. It'll come back to me.
I can't remember.
It'll come back.
I'll
to
find
me.
it.
It's a little Ask Slee time. 877-710.
She's an
ESPN.
MC. She's a lyricist.
She's a good one too. I like it. Let's start with this. This is from Jacob in the Travis Slee community. What's the most realistic animal sound you can make?
Realistic animal sounds
Like
that I can
that you
make.
can mimic this thing the best.
What is this sound? Now we're going to use my sound and then see if we could use it and try to apply an animal to it. Okay? Oh! Oh! What is that? Oh! What kind of bird is that?
Is it a crow?
Could be a crow.
Seal? Maybe?
Do it again.
Oh!
You didn't go with moo, like
No,
a cow.
no, it was more the
wolf.
bird. I'll tell you why I picked that specifically.
You went hiking?
Like idiots, when we were younger, out of nowhere, we just go like it's like a crow. It's like a dying duck. I don't know what the hell it is.
Whatever it is, it doesn't sound healthy.
No, it's not healthy. It's also not healthy for my throat because I just demolished my throat doing it.
Corey, can you make any animal noises?
Let's see.
You make like a go, like an something like that.
I can't because of this guy's hawk.
Were you just trying to
Well,
do
it's
the
definitely
elephant?
not a
I was
hawk.
going to try to do an elephant. I just,
Let me hear it.
Do it.
I was
good.
thinking of his face.
All going like really
Have
hard
you got one?
things.
You got an animal?
Mm.
That sounds like a cow.
Yeah.
That's
Because
fine.
it's easy.
Ooh, we could all kind of I wanted,
exactly,
We
it's
wanted
easy.
something. We
I
wanted
like
like a remix.
You have a seagull that's got 8 minutes left in its life. That's
going down, bro.
He's
done.
hurt.
His life is
He's
done.
He's been
was
scavenging
attacked.
for food underneath the pier, and it's finally time. He's just going to drop over. And
You guys
Throw
hear
your,
Bergman,
throw your peacock in real
Bergman
quick. That's got to be the one, right? For you,
I
Trev?
got too many. I got the peacock. I've got a
That's
goat.
You do a
This one.
horse.
What's that?
You do a horse whinny. Yeah, that's good. That's a good horse.
Yeah, it's a good
You're
one.
like a freaking professional, dude. Jesus.
That's pretty good.
Gotta have the stretchy cheeks for that one.
Yeah, it's harder because I have to take my headphones off for fear they're going to go flying. Hold on. Let me get in character.
Well, that's a duck.
That sounded
That's like
Donald Duck.
Yeah, Donald Duck.
It's a mythological creature. It's half duck,
The
half
fact
horse.
that you could get both in the same one, that's good.
Right.
I got some
I'm gonna go in
skills.
a different direction. So this is
What's
from
up?
Kat from Whittier, and he says you have to get rid of one thing for Thanksgiving: mac and cheese, ham, stuffing, or all the desserts.
Oh, that's easy for me.
I go without ham.
Ham's good.
Yeah, I'll go without ham. I need the stuffing. Got to have the stuffing. Mac and cheese is important. And I like something sweet when it's all said and done, when the dust settles. So I'll go with ham. Ham is out. Plus, I
Trav,
will
do you
say
agree?
this. We never really had ham for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't making the table. It was
Yeah.
basically, it was a turkey, and then the rest was straight from Iraq.
I don't have a huge problem with your
Thanksgiving.
logic. I think the logic is sound, but ham is good for all of the same reasons turkey is good because there's leftovers. You can make a million other things with the leftover ham. If I had to, I'd get rid of the desserts. And I could eat that ham sandwich for dessert. little of that honey mustard on there. Find a dinner roll or two that's left over, and
I
game
think
over.
Our dessert game's pretty good. I think you
I
would like
believe
some
that
of
they're
the
good. Don't misunderstand me. I'm
baklava,
sure I would like
everything
it.
else comes in. I
I'm
think you'll-
sure it would be very, very good.
Yeah.
But I just like the other things a little bit more. In the same. Oh, Jorge, I skipped
Yeah.
you. Sorry, buddy.
All right, man. If you're at a fair, this is from Raider Rubin, by the way.
Okay.
If you're at a fair, would you rather ride a mechanical bull or get in a dunk tank if there's some kind of a prize?
This one I think is actually very easy. The dunk tank it's a lot of work. You got to get soaked in water. That means I got to take clothing off. I'm not trying to take clothing off. If I just got to get on a mechanical bull and try and get on there for 8 seconds and it probably lasts for 1.4 seconds, and then I hit this mat where everything is fine, I'm taking the mechanical bull, and I don't think it's really close.
Let me give you another alternative to this.
Okay, let me hear it.
I've been on in a dunk tank, and it sucks. It's the surprise factor of it is that, like, you can see it when the ball's coming, but sometimes it's a little delayed, and then it drops out from underneath you. It's a very sinking feeling, one.
I think Greg was in one of the events.
The idea, though, the mechanical bull video of you is going to look way worse than the dunk tank video of you. So if you're looking about shame factor, you look a lot more dumb on a mechanical bull than a dunk tank.
I'm okay with that. I'm willing to take the
thing in there. I don't want to take my shirt off or get in wet clothes as much as anybody, right? But I'm taking the dunk tank because even though the water may be cold or tepid, which is actually worse than cold because then you could get Legionnaire's disease or whatever else is floating around in there. I don't want any of that. But just the simple act of falling to the ground as an adult is a dangerous act.
Or getting on the mechanical bull itself is almost the hardest part, too.
But even if the ground is soft.
Got like 3 people helping us up.
Like if I fell in a bounce house, like the situation you're talking about, if I fall on my shoulder, I'm on the rack forever. I'm never using my arm again.
I'm surprised. I thought you would go easy mechanical bull.
No, because if you just asked me to pick up a pen
Can you picture Travis on a mechanical bull?
No, but I don't know if I could see Trav just starting to take layers of clothing off in front of the public.
I would do that before I would fall down.
You could also do it in a
t-shirt.
Bad. You don't have to be shirtless.
But then I got a clingy t-shirt, which is far worse.
I'd actually I would wear a turtleneck while I'm going down. I can't breathe.
As bad as the skin would be, it's better than the clingy t-shirt. That's the worst option that there is. Porky writes, you got our MFK. I don't have to go over which one is which. You got to get 1 M, 1 F, 1 K. Pumpkin pie, apple pie, pecan pie. What's our M? This is your lifelong pie. You're going to live with this pie.
Give me the 3 pies again.
Pumpkin, apple, and pecan.
Ah, man. I think I'm going to marry pumpkin pie.
Okay.
Interesting.
What's the you're going to have a nice one-time moment with another pie.
I think, oh, God, this is tough. I think pecan is the one that I just need. It's so rich.
It's sweet, too.
So that's why if I just have it once and then it's done.
So apple pie is gone forever?
God, that's not right to give apple pie. No, I marry apple pie.
That's
one night stand with my pecan pie, and then pumpkin is
that's the right order.
Out of the mix.
So
that's the right order.
My order, because I don't like pecan pie, is I'd probably K pecan pie, but
it's good.
But the
it's
thing
just
is,
so rich, so that's why if you just have it.
Pumpkin as an F is nice because it only comes around once a year. It's always a kind of nice time. It's seasonal, and so you can have you can really enjoy it in that seasonal period.
It's not better.
And they don't
than
need
apple.
any other time.
No, pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
Well, I hate pecan pie.
But that's fine. That's fine. but as a Southern woman, you should like pecan pie.
I don't.
I know.
I don't like. I don't honestly. I would K all these pies. I don't really like pie.
You're not a pie person?
No, do not like pie.
Jorge?
Apple pie a la mode. That's the way to go. Apple pie.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't. Unless it's the holidays, I think it's the only time I'm having. It's got to be some holiday. I don't go out of my way to have it, but when I do have it around the holidays, it's delicious.
Apple pie with a slice of cheese.
Yeah,
I know it sounds weird, but it's pretty good.
Cheddar cheese.
You ever had that?
It's cheddar cheese?
Yes.
Cheddar cheese.
It's an old school thing from the 30s and 40s.
That sounds really gross.
It does. I agree. It sounds gross.
Sweet.
My dad got it one time. We were at a diner or something, and I'm like, that looks terrible. He goes, fine, don't eat it. And I'm like, okay, now I got to try it. He was, as dads typically are, he was right.
My favorite pie, though, is like Mexican dark chocolate pie or chocolate pie. I like it a lot. It's just like a deep, fudgy pie with a little ice cream on it.
I don't know that one.
Great.
Yeah, we have something choco flan. It's like a layer of chocolate cake and flan at the top.
Well, sure.
Oh,
I
man.
mean,
It's amazing.
Is it still like the gelatinous flan with the little caramel, little drizzle?
Top.
Oh, yeah, no, that's.
I'll bring it in Thursday since you're not here.
USC is done for the season, even though they got 2 games left. And
so is UCLA.
Well, they never really got started. That's next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
You never have to.
Big news, Laker fans. John Ireland here. You can now stream every Lakers game on the ESPN LA app. Don't miss a second of the action with Michael Thompson and I on the call. Plus, all your live and local Lakers talk every day in the palm of your hand.
You're one tap away from everything Lakers.
You could even win Lakers tickets.
Download the ESPN LA app and bam!
Download the ESPN LA app at the App Store and Google Play.
So, Crash Override in the Circle of Trust is a bad guy because this is what he wrote a second ago. You may not be retired, Trav, but your rationale for falling down as an adult sounds a lot like a Life Alert commercial. I mean, yeah. Look, there comes a point where getting down to the ground and getting up off of the ground, when you're 8, not a problem. When you're 18, not a huge problem. When you're 28, just be a little careful getting on the ground. And then by the time you're 40, it's like you avoid the ground at all costs. It's a very delicate procedure to get down there. And it's going to take a couple of deep breaths, a couple of setting your feet to get back up. I'm just saying. It's going to happen to all of you out there eventually. Just might have gotten to me a little earlier than the rest of you.
There's some pretty funny tweets. Right? Eddie Carrillo put out a tweet of you with your MacBook. This is you when you're typing. Just a guy.
I didn't.
Just a guy throwing haymakers at the camera.
Hands. What are you going to say? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? $1 Million Mondays are back on 710 thanks to Hollywood Park Casino. Listen all day, every day, Monday for your chance to win. That's today, Monday. All you have to do is give us your Super Bowl prediction, both teams' final score, and you could be winning $1 million. And just for playing, you'll get tickets to a game at SoFi Stadium coming up on December 3rd. $1 Million Mondays on 710 ESPN, presented by Hollywood Park Casino. Eat, drink, play. So I'm pretty sure I did not hear the entirety of Lincoln Riley's press conference after the Ducks beat them on Saturday night, but I don't think he said that they're only 2 plays away from being undefeated in conference anymore. I don't think that's what he has. Is it 3 now?
Now it's 3.
Oh, okay. Now it's 3. It's over, right? Like we went from, hey, maybe back-to-back Heismans. Hey, maybe a shot in the Final Four. Hey, maybe they got 1 loss. All right, they can still control their own destiny. To they've basically got 2 games left, UCLA this upcoming Saturday, and then whatever bowl game they end up in. And there is a world that exists that you don't have to squint too hard to see, where they finish the year 7-7.
So I think the setup that you had, for me, I did not think that. And I don't think you did either, because we watched enough SC football games to think that this ain't real deal. That when they actually face some real competition, they're 2-7 against ranked teams under Lincoln Riley. I think we saw enough games, even though they were winning those close games, we both knew go face some real competition. You're not going to win these games.
And those 2 wins were last year, by the way. Against ranked teams were
That's right,
last
UCLA
year.
and Notre Dame.
And Notre Dame and UCLA that were ranked in the teens and the 20s.
Mm-hmm.
These are not teams that were ranked in the top 10 or top 5.
This weekend they were technically, mathematically eliminated from the Pac-12, but nobody believed that over these last couple of weeks because they told us. You just watch them play. It's kind of interesting the way you set it up because they have become more and more irrelevant as the weeks have gone on because you just didn't feel like there was a path for them to get there based on their play.
Alex Grinch gets fired, and there was at least a theory of the dead coach bounce, right? Look at what the Raiders did. You fire your coach, it's same players, but instantly you get a little spark, you bounce back. Raiders have won 2 in a row since firing Josh McDaniels. This wasn't exactly that because it's a coordinator, but I did think that there was a possibility that it would be better. And you could even argue that it was. They gave up points in the 30s as opposed to in the 50s like they'd been doing. But the first 2
it didn't help
passing
you were
plays
playing
of the game,
Oregon in the first game.
No, for sure. But the first 2 passing plays of the game were a 77-yard touchdown pass and an 84-yard touchdown pass. 2 passing plays into the game, Bo Nix was 2 for 2 with 2 touchdowns and 161 yards. This, Alex Grinch is not a good defensive coordinator. I think we can say that with some certainty. This is just as much of a personnel as it is a schematic issue. USC's slow. I know they were really thin in the secondary. I know that they were missing a lot of their defensive players. But it's been a really long time since it was so stark that the other team just has better players across the board. Other than quarterback, Oregon had a better player at virtually every position. It's not supposed to be like that when you have SC. If Alabama's got a better guy than you at every position, or Georgia or Ohio State, I would still argue that USC shouldn't be 0 for 22 in these things. But Oregon, a better guy at virtually every spot, that is incredibly alarming considering what they're about to walk into next season. Because Oregon's coming. Washington's better. UCLA is kind of similar. We'll get to them in a second. But you got Ohio State. You got Penn State. You got Michigan. You've got all of these other heavy hitters in the Big Ten that just flat out have better players than SC right now.
Where do they...
They're slow.
Where do they go from here? Like, how does SC start putting themselves back in the conversation? And listen, I will give them this. The Utah game was a close game. The Washington game was a close game. So I don't think they're miles away, but that's where the big boys are playing right now, and we're not there. And then when you do get into next season where it is Michigan and Ohio State and even Penn State, there's a lot of really good programs there in the Big Ten. How does it get fixed? Because
you got to get better players.
Because I think in 2 years, Trav, and if the idea and the concept is you just got to get good players, in 2 years, that really bright light has dimmed a little bit. That the way you look at USC today is different than when Lincoln Riley first got here. And then even last year, overachieved. They get to a Pac-12 championship, and maybe if Caleb Williams is healthy, who knows? Maybe they win the Pac-12 championship. But this season was supposed to be your building off of next year, but they went the other way. You just said it 2 minutes ago. They could go 7-7.
They could.
I don't think it's going to happen, but they could.
We'll see how they fight, right? Because
you lose to UCLA, and then you decide guys like Caleb Williams, these guys don't want to play in the bowl game.
Caleb Williams is not, even if they win, I don't think he's going to go play in a bowl game where USC's 8-6 against another team that's probably 8-6 or thereabouts.
Purdue,
right? It's going to be a game in that kind of caliber. I think I keep coming back to this. The reason that I don't know if it tricked, duped, or just kind of blind because I wanted it to happen, where Caleb Williams covered up so many problems with this team because, to your point, they kept winning. Even last year, they would win these games against some of these teams that these flaws were evident. But it was, but we got this guy, and he really is special. Like, watch him against Oregon. He made a couple of mistakes because everybody makes a couple of mistakes, but the only reason these games aren't 65-10 is because you have number 13 on your team.
And even
that's it.
And even last year, they were winning games, and their defense got a lot of turnovers, and that's all luck. If anybody can tell you that, it's a lot of luck getting turnovers.
There's a lot of randomness.
Okay. And so the defense might have looked even slightly better on paper, whatever. We knew we'd criticize them last year, but if the luck was better this year, maybe it would be different.
You said you don't think he would play in a bowl game, right?
I don't think so.
I would highly doubt that.
Hypothetically, what if it's the Pop-Tarts Bowl?
Where's that place?
You don't think he's playing in that?
Where is it? Well, tell me where it is. Tell me what the swag bag looks like, and we can make a decision.
It's in Orlando, Florida.
No, it's a long flight. You got to, it's a lot going on.
Okay, let me
right
get
there.
something a little bit closer.
Yeah, something Texas or closer.
He's not going to play in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl in Phoenix, Arizona?
I think that's unlikely.
It's in Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah.
How easy of a trip that is.
Yeah, I don't think.
The famous Idaho Potato Bowl?
Boise could be cold. I don't need to do that. Guaranteed Rate's the best one you've come up with so far, but playing against, I don't know, who would they play? Somebody.
I just need more ridiculous
awful?
names.
Oh, they're
That's
all
what I need.
ridiculous. Other than
Where's
Rose
the
Bowl,
Cheez-It
Sugar
Bowl? Isn't there a Cheez-It Bowl or
There is. I
something
think
like
that's
that?
in the Bahamas, I want to say. He might go to that. That's the one you could probably get him to, right? Like, hey, you want to go to the Bahamas? Although Caleb Williams is he's a rich guy. He's got his NIL money. He can do what he wants. He's gone. So that's the SC
They
portion
comped the
of
hotel.
it. They're done until next season, and they got a whole bunch of questions. Because to your point, how do you fix it? You have to find the athletes. Those Oregon guys were running past your guys. You weren't fast enough. Washington's guys you need to get those big, strong, fast guys. Ohio State and Michigan and Penn State, they're going to have better players than you. You might always be able to find the quarterback. The one thing that Riley's been able to do is find the quarterback. Murray, Mayfield, Hurts, Williams. He's really good at that.
Yeah.
But he also never finds the right defensive guys or the right person to go find the right defensive guys. There's a big thing over the weekend about the SC's problem isn't scheme. It's you don't have the right players. Oregon is killing themselves to identify the right players. Alabama, Georgia, Texas, they're killing themselves to find the right guys. And SC keeps doing the same thing over and over again. That's the part that needs to get fixed.
Is it an SC culture problem? They go for the wrong guys. They go for maybe the splashy guys. They go for the guys that fit the LA mindset or whatever, but they don't get the guys that are the best football players for building a program long term. They may get the guys that go to the NFL, a couple of splashy NFL positions, but not the big, deep offensive linemen, defensive linemen.
I don't want to try to be overly dramatic, but it seems like a very critical offseason for Lincoln Riley.
It's funny to think about it like that.
It seems like if they come, let's just use next year as an example, they have another 5-loss season. Which
no, you're right.
That's not out of the ordinary.
You know who they have open their schedule with next year?
Who's that?
LSU.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, so they've got LSU. These are just who I know they play: LSU, Notre Dame, UCLA, because they all and they open at Michigan. There's 4 games right there. 4 games that you know that you're going to have. UCLA, you'll probably be favored against because UCLA, but the rest of it.
Okay, UCLA or LSU at Michigan. You said. Mm-hmm. They have a home game against Penn State.
There you go.
They're at Washington.
Sure.
At UCLA, Notre Dame. That's not me counting Wisconsin, at Minnesota. With the way they play, those aren't locks either. Nope. So, and I'm not telling you they're going to have 7 losses, but doesn't it seem like a very interesting offseason for Lincoln Riley, who comes to USC, who I don't want to say promises the world, but he's got a history and a resume that says, I'm going to change this thing around. I'm going to make it happen when I come here. And if the trajectory for USC since he got here is get to the Pac-12 championship, and then from there over 3 years it's going this way.
With that quarterback.
Now,
I guess the saving grace is you can trust that he'll find another one because he always finds one.
Yeah.
Right? So that's fair.
But he was special. And you're right.
They all were college players. I'm not talking about any of their NFL because Hurts is the only one that's been a good pro, but Mayfield was amazing in college. Murray was amazing in college. Williams they're terrific. They were Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks. I want to ask you guys this. I know this isn't going to happen. I know this is like not even a hypothetical. It's almost kind of ridiculous to ask, but with what we're talking about, with knowing the talent pool at Washington and Oregon and the rest of the Pac-12, knowing what it is in the rest of the Big Ten, if SC could just snap their fingers and undo this Big Ten thing, you think they would? Like just say, hey, listen, this is let's
so
not
stay in the Pac-12 and you still have 12 squads, 12 teams that are going.
Everything stays the way it is this year. The whole Pac-12 because SC's the leader in this, right? If they said we're out, everyone else would follow suit.
They set the dominoes off.
Right.
So I think if we're just talking from a competitive aspect of
Yeah,
it,
I think they
would
would.
say no.
All
if
of
it's
it.
by
No,
money,
I think
Put it
they
all
are not
together.
regretting anything.
Pull it all. So just the money is like, yeah, we're going to get
I think the money,
slaughtered,
if
but let's do it
you're
anyway.
in charge of an athletic department, it overrides everything,
might
and
be
I
right.
think they won't regret that.
If they stayed, I guess let's make things even. Let's say it was the Pac-12 still, SC, UCLA, Oregon, Washington, Utah, everybody's in, and the money. Let's just say that now it's finally figured out. You're not going anywhere. All this stuff, and a TV deal comes aboard, or was a TV deal / Apple. They both teamed up together, and the money is actually comparable. You don't have to worry about the other the SEC and everybody else just cleaning house with how much money they're getting. Why wouldn't you stay in the Pac-12? If you can still be
the same, they never would have come up in the first place.
But if you could still be in a similar world and you got 12 playoff spots, I think they would stay.
This is a bad, because Oregon will go in and compete in football. Washington will go in and compete in football. It seems like they got the right coaches and they got the right players, right? It really works well for them.
Oregon beat Ohio State like 2 years ago.
Oregon's a good team. And Washington with Kalen DeBoer looks like a pretty darn good team along the way. But UCLA will not compete in football because they don't compete in the Pac-12 as it is, but they'll compete in basketball. They're going to walk right into that league, and they're going to be fine. They're not going to win it every year, but they're going to. Where is SC's path? What are they going to be good at? Oregon will be good at football, maybe basketball, maybe not. Washington will be good at football. UCLA will be good at basketball. Where's the path for USC? What are other than everybody's getting paid?
Every other sport.
I think which they will, but I think SC. I think everybody from the athletic director to the president saying, figure it the hell out, because it's not. Even if they're good at other sports, this is the one that you don't have an excuse in this one.
The money dries up like this if you're not good at football at USC. They don't care what the baseball and the tennis and the golf and the swimming does. They don't care. It's a football school. 7-7.
Every school is a football school.
As far as money, but SC is on a totally different thing.
Of
Nothing.
course.
It's like Notre Dame, right? They have other things, but Notre Dame plays football. Michigan plays football. They have other things, but that's Ohio State. They're in that group. They might go a very long time before they're relevant again if they can't get some of the personnel issues fixed along the way. Let's try a quick phone call here. Let's go to Randy in Riverside. Randy, you're on with Trav and Slee. What's up, bud?
Hey, guys. How you guys doing?
Good, man.
All right. So here's the issue with USC. It's kind of twofold. They've got horrible defense, and they had a horrible defensive coordinator. So they can't recruit on defense. They don't get the 5-star, the high 4-star guys because no one's going to would come play for that coach. So that's the problem with how they can't get the defense back. The other problem is they're not really a player in the NIL market. So when they do have a kid that's interested, 5-star, they'll go to Texas A&M or Miami or somewhere else where they're going to get a lot of cash to come to play right away. So that's really kind of the problem with them. Now, if they can get a solid defensive coordinator, and then it's still kind of wait and see. You have to wait and see whether they actually have a defense.
That's the biggest issue, and I appreciate you calling in. What he just said right there about, well, they can't get these defensive players because they didn't have a good defensive coordinator. Who kept that dude at the defensive coordinator? That's the problem. It's it's not that much different than saying, when we bitch and complain about something, it's not the best comp, but when we bitch and complain about the Angels, it's like, they just need to get the right manager. No, it doesn't matter because Artie Moreno is the owner of the team. Lincoln Riley, technically in this structure, can make the decisions. If you got other defensive players going somewhere else, why are you holding on to a dude for as long as you did that clearly wasn't the right guy?
Huge mistake. You got to go hire a named defensive guy that high school football players know, right? The number one defense in America, hey, I put this together at Georgia or Ohio State or Michigan. I'm bringing him here. You're going to pay him accordingly. You sell vision. We got the right guy running this. I'm going to let him do it. He's done it here, here, and here. We got it. You got to pay these guys. You have to pay them. What Randy was just talking about, that Miami and all of Alabama, Texas A&M, they're spending so much money in the NIL market. You have to be competitive there. If not, and not competitive, you have to be better. Mm-hmm. Whatever Alabama will give you that 1.5 times, right? That's the only way you're going to get these guys, because to sell the vision of it is a little more challenging than to sell just the dollars and cents of it. M's College Football Corner Part 2 coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN. Hey, are you dealing with a dead battery? If so, head to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. They offer free battery services like their free battery testing and free battery charging. Free battery testing can help you know if you need a new battery or not, or if you just need a fresh charge. And if you happen to need a replacement, they can hook you up there as well. They're the only place you can find proven tough Duralast batteries. So, the next time that you are having battery trouble, head to AutoZone, your battery solution, and America's #1 battery destination.
The return of $1 Million. Return of $1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
Your chance to win $1 million from 710 ESPN.
Listen every Monday this football season for your chance at $1 million. $1 Million Mondays.
Presented by Hollywood Park Casino. Eat, drink, play.
Listen every Monday to 710 ESPN. When you hear the cue to call, be caller number 7. Give us your Super Bowl prediction. Both teams and the final score, and you could be winning $1 million this football season on LA's $1 million mega sports station. 710 ESPN. College Football Corner. Take it away, Producer M.
All right, y'all. We just talked a little bit about Texas A&M in the last segment because even though they won 51-10 over Mississippi State, the Aggies ended up firing Jimbo Fisher and giving him his massive buyout at $76.8 million.
What?
And so let me just paint a picture for you guys. What you could buy with $76.8 million. Okay, ESPN was kind enough to put out an article.
Oh, I like this game.
So, grocery shopping at Erewhon every day.
You could.
Every day.
Also
What do you want?
Erewhon, it's Erewhon.
I like your pronunciation better.
I like Erewhon.
You could.
I have
buy,
$77 million. I call it whatever I want.
You buy it. Yeah.
You could buy some of the greatest sports collectibles of all time. So they have a big list of some of the sports collectibles that you could get.
George Brett's rookie card.
Yes, sure. you could buy the
Eddie
house
Jones jersey
of The Weeknd, the singer, the rapper. You could buy his house.
Where is his house on the market?
Yeah. It's in LA.
Okay.
What's the square footage of it?
I'm just like, what part of LA is it? A place that I'd like to live? Like, if we're
How
playing
many
this
acres?
game, let's play it.
How many acres?
I would make up things if I don't have it. And then a Van Gogh. You could buy a Van Gogh. And you could buy a private
irises. I like that only one of the irises is white. All the other ones are blue. Why is there one white one, Slee? What made him do that?
I don't know.
But not only was Jimbo Fisher fired, but also Mississippi State's coach was fired, Zach Arnett, after only 11 games. But I want to play a game with you guys real quick. So there were 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 current coaches that have won a national championship that are coaching right now. Okay, so we're going to go around the room and we can say who has won a national championship that is currently coaching. Al, you start us off.
All right, Saban.
All right. Trev?
Dabo.
All right. Jorge?
I have no idea.
All right. Alan?
Yep, coach of Georgia.
Kirby Smart is that guy.
All right. Travis?
I was going to say Kirby Smart. There's only one more?
So
hold on. Don't tell me. Is there one more?
You said
he said Kirby Smart-ish. He
Yes.
said coach of Georgia, which I'm giving him credit for.
I definitely don't get credit for that. We have. You said 4 total, so
there are 4 that are still out there that are.
So we picked
because Jimbo
3.
Fisher was one of them.
Okay. So Jimbo's off the list.
Jimbo's off the list.
I don't. I'm thinking.
One that you're not thinking about because he took some time off.
Chip Kelly never won the national championship. He took some time off. Jim Harbaugh never won the national championship. Ryan Day is the one I keep going back and forth on. Steve Spurrier's not coaching anymore.
Can I guess?
I'm going to say Ryan Day.
Okay, what's your guess, Al?
No, I'm going to guess. Was it? When did LSU win its last? I'm trying to think who was the coach.
Ed Orgeron.
Everything's on the line.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's what it was.
So it's not
Ryan
Day.
Okay.
The 4 coaches that are currently coaching since Jimbo Fisher just got fired was Nick Saban, Kirby Smart, Dabo Swinney, and Mac Brown.
Mac Brown,
who coaches for UNC right now. So anyway,
so there's only one left because we got the first 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because I misunderstood.
How about spot?
I thought
track?
when you said because I said there's only one left, you're like, well, no, there's 4.
Oh, no, I thought I meant there's 4 total.
I wouldn't have gotten Mac Brown anyway, but okay.
And then also additionally, A&M's boosters at the halftime showed off how much money they had raised, and how much money they had raised was almost equivalent to the entire buyout of Jimbo Fisher and what they would get for the buy-in from the next coach.
Okay.
So A&M's set.
Look at his. This spot track shows what he's making moving forward.
Fisher?
Yeah. Within 60 days, they got to pay him $19.4 million.
Okay.
Within 120 days, they have to pay him $7.27 million.
Okay, so we're at $28 million roughly.
Something like that. And then after that, $7.27 million from 2025 to 2031. Then we get to our $77 million.
And again, he'll be one of the highest paid coaches next year.
Oh, he won't be out of work long. No. Somebody will snap him up.
Okay, what happens when he gets? What happens when he? Is that money guaranteed? Period.
I believe that it is, and I think this is why he lasted as long as he did, because that number was, believe it or not, even more absurd last year or the year before, that they needed to wait till it got to an air quotes manageable $77 million.
So he could go
in
2025 and start coaching somewhere else, and he's still going to make the $7.27 million.
I'm virtually certain that's true.
That's a good life. That's going to work out.
I maybe this is anti-competition, anti-whatever. There's no greater dream of mine than someone saying, hey, you need to leave here, but here's enough money that you never have to leave your house ever again. That if you want to go do whatever you want, here's $77 million. If you want to coach, great, go do it. But if you don't, you don't have to. I don't need to worry about putting kids through school, mortgage, I couldn't go through $77 million if you gave me 10 lifetimes. I couldn't do it. And he gets to go do it. And how old's Jimbo Fisher? I'm going to guess roughly 60 would be my guess, maybe a little below, a little above. But bye.
He's 58.
58.
My
And someone could ask him if he's retired.
Well, are you retired if you got fired into retirement, or are you just between jobs? I feel like that's between jobs.
He can go to Thailand or whatever. What Cliff Kingsbury did
I would
last year.
love to see his profile on LinkedIn and just like him messaging out to people looking for his next gig, his next job.
So,
but Bill Belichick will take him up probably.
On a scale of 1 to 10, where are you guys all that I had art history knowledge?
Not that surprised because honestly, you have a lot of random crap in your mind
random, but it's
that I'm
good
not
random.
shocked any day.
I like the randomness.
I know. See, this is either where I'm an idiot or I'm really smart. I don't know which one it is. I get one fact that I hold on to forever, so I can just drop it in like that. I know about one painting, that one. If you would have said anybody other than Van Gogh, I probably wouldn't have had anything to go into. But that's what you said. I had a shot.
Yeah, I just will never question you.
Because there was the highest, the most expensive art ever sold. I think was like $450 million. It was
a couple years ago.
So he can't even buy a piece of that. He's just
exactly.
He's got to get some buddies together. It was kind of a weeks. Black Sunday for college football. Dabo got it. The Boise State coach got it. The Mississippi State coach got it. Alex Grinch got it. The coordinator at somewhere else that won.
Brady Hoke is retiring from San Diego State.
Yeah, that was one of those. You're quitting at the end of the year, right? Yeah. What do you mean? You're quitting at the end of the year, right? Yeah, definitely am.
The worst sporting event you've ever gone to in your life was at San Diego State University at Snapdragon Stadium,
led by Brady Hoke.
Was it 6-0?
6-0.
6. Come on.
6-0. Wasn't that exciting? It actually, as bad as 6-0 sounds, it was worse. Now, San Diego State, when I went to the basketball games, that was super fun.
Yeah.
That was a great day. Football, maybe they just do what the Gauchos did and not play anymore.
Want to play one more quick little last man standing?
Yeah.
Okay, this one I think you guys will get a little easier. All right,
Mac Brown.
There are 7 undefeated FBS teams in college football still. Can you name all 7? I'm going to grab a pen. All right.
Okay.
Travis, you start.
Washington.
Washington is correct. Al?
Georgia.
Correct. Jorge?
Ohio State.
Yeah, correct. I was going to say Ohio University. They are not undefeated.
The Bobcats.
All right, Trav.
Florida State.
Florida State, that is correct.
Michigan.
Michigan, that is correct. Jorge. Last 2 are going to be hard ones.
Okay.
We have mentioned one almost every week.
I'll take the L.
Okay, L. All right.
JMU.
JMU, yes.
James Madison.
And there's one more left, also in the state of Virginia.
Do you know it? I don't know it.
Travis?
I don't think by the rules of last man standing I have to get it, but because I was the last one to get it right.
Yes.
Is it Eastern?
Nope.
Who is it?
Oh, okay. It is not Eastern in the state.
Okay.
But yeah.
Well, it's not UVA. It's not Duke. It's not North Carolina.
It's in the state of Virginia.
Is it? Oh, I'm thinking of Carolina. Oh, you're right. Well, not UVA. It's not Virginia Tech.
It's not William Mary.
I don't know.
It's Liberty University.
Tyson Bates? No, he went to Shepherd College.
Yeah.
Somebody went to Liberty.
I don't know.
Quarterback. This is going to bother me the rest of the day. Now I got to move it up. We got last man standing. I'm losing my mind.
No, we got the draft.
Maybe I should retire.
Got the draft coming up.
We got something. Factor Cap is coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. Hey, don't forget to head in your neighborhood Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change, because for over 30 years, Valvoline has provided quick and convenient automotive maintenance services for busy people just like you. So obviously with Thanksgiving coming up here in just a few days, you pack up that family, you head to your Thanksgiving feast. Why not stop at your neighborhood Valvoline Instant Oil Change and let the expert technicians make sure that your ride is at its best. Over 80 locations all over Southern California, ready to help you get your ride ready for the road in no time. Go to SoCalOilChange.com to find one of those locations and get game-winning coupons off of your next Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
You never have to miss a moment of LA.
That's so cap, Dad.
Everything I've said is a cap, but I'm going to go back.
First of all, it's not a cap. It's
No, it
just
is a cap.
Welcome to Factor Cap.
Hey guys.
Hey, Em.
Gotta tell you, it was really nice to recover from Sunday in bed, watching Red Zone in my bed. It was really nice.
What time did you finally roll out?
I had a kickball game at 1:30, so I mean, I had gotten up to do other things, but
Sure.
I was mostly in my bed until 12.
I just imagined you
That's pretty
just
good.
rolling out of bed, putting her shoes on, going directly to kickball, coming back, rolling right back into bed.
No, once I was in kickball, I was up and going because I had to go make Friendsgiving. I made Brussels sprouts, so I was kind of busy doing that stuff. Anyway.
You really should have taken a swing at that black bean Wellington.
I'm sorry, I let you down there. So Adam Driver has been doing some press for his new movie Ferrari, where he plays the titular character who creates Ferrari.
Mr. Ferrari?
Yeah, Mr. Ferrari, I would assume is his name. So Adam Driver was in a Q&A, and someone in the Q&A asked him a question, and then his response maybe isn't good for everybody, but I'm going to play the sound right now. It's a little hard to hear, but I'll explain it after.
What do you think about crash scenes? That they looked pretty harsh, drastic, and I must say, cheesy for me. What do you think about them?
You, I don't know.
So the guy says, what do you think about the cheesy crash scenes? And Adam Driver says, well, F you. And so Adam Driver was justified in his response. Travis, Factor Cap.
Cap. Here's why. First of all, the F-bomb is aggressive, but it's the I don't know at the back end that really brings it home. Because it's like, what do you want me to say? I don't know. Listening to the cut, because when you explained it to me this morning, I'm like, okay, but that's the first time I've heard it. I think that the person asking the question is translating in their head, right? Obviously, Italian, I'm assuming, is their first language. And I don't know if he meant the question to be quite as harsh as it came out.
They do. The Italians hate this movie.
Okay,
and so
maybe.
he did intend
All
for
right, well,
what he
then
said.
if he meant it like, hey, your movie sucks, what do you make of that? Then, yeah, blank you is a perfectly fine response.
Al?
I go Cap. I think there's a way to kind of give your feelings. The F-bomb, you can't get, there's only a couple other terms you can use that's worse than an F-bomb. I think we all kind of have a few of them in there.
Not many.
But there isn't many.
Yeah.
There isn't many. That sounds like there was a better way of approaching that. I go Cap on that one.
Jorge?
I'm going to go Cap. I mean, imagine all the people that say negative things about us on Twitter. Wouldn't you, feel good telling some of these people the same thing?
I would love to.
So, yeah, it's cool. Like, I don't,
fine.
yeah, he'll be all right.
Jorge hears my responses.
Oh, for sure.
So I would love to do that.
Have you Adam Drivered off mic a handful of times is what we're getting at?
Would love.
That'd be good. That'd be good to be able to voice note on X or on Twitter. So when you respond back, it's just you saying F you.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
So in the same kind of vein, so last week a BYU player was getting heckled on the sidelines during a basketball game. This isn't a basketball player, and obviously we know BYU, they are mostly Mormons, and so they do not curse. But this is what he said instead to the people watching him.
Shut the F up!
So
what's going on right now? People are angry, man.
So curse adjacent words are as bad as curse words. So if you're going to say shut the F up, you might as well say the real one. Alan, Factor Cap.
So Cap as in they're not as bad, but
Cap would be they're not as bad.
Then Cap, but if you're going to go that far, you might as well just do it. We all know the interpretation. We all know what you're trying to say, but it's not as bad because if I tell you to shut the F up, it's a little different. Ask the FCC if I use the other one.
Yeah,
so it is different. So I go Cap on that.
I feel like it was different 20 years ago, maybe even 30 years ago, but nowadays it's
we used to say
F
what was it,
fine.
fudge. Like you'd say things like that, right?
A Christmas Story, he goes
Fine,
sugar.
Only I didn't say fudge.
Yeah.
I think that the initial is far less aggressive than the four letters, right?
But it means the same thing.
It does mean the same thing, but the sound at the end of it is what really brings it home, right? And to your point, we can say, you can't say blank that, but you can say F that, right? So it obviously has a great deal of impact.
Say sugar.
And you can't say it at BYU. I think that I forget what you sign like a deal where you can't. Here are the things you can't do, and if you get caught violating them, they can bounce you. So maybe
you're right.
he just wanted to make sure he didn't get bounced.
Jorge?
Yeah, I might as well say at this point, look, I have a 5-year-old at home, and sometimes we're in the car. Brendan and I are talking about something, and we don't have the time to think, oh, I should have said sugar instead of front door.
It happens.
Right, of course. All right, so over the weekend, someone posted about how his sister, who is a huge Oklahoma football fan, went to the game in Eugene and was in the tunnel as USC was running off. I'm not clear if this was at halftime, if this was at the end of the game, but regardless, the USC is running through the tunnel, and she says, "Boomer Sooner, traitor!" to Lincoln Riley. And so she flew all the way to Oregon just to troll.
This.
So this is top-tier trolling. Jorge, Factor Cap.
Oh, yeah. The fact that you're driving all the way just so you can yell at one guy, yeah, I love it. And plus, she's a woman flying all the way there just to yell at this dude. I love this. Yes.
Trev.
Can you find something both deeply respected and ridiculous simultaneously? Is it okay to hold those?
We contain multitudes.
Contrary thought. That she would spend her time, energy, and money to go do something that at the end of the day, Lincoln Riley had probably taken 2 more steps and he'd forgotten that woman even exists, right? That he's got a Malibu beach house and millions of dollars. He's fine. Like, I don't think he feels like a traitor necessarily. But I respect the woman's hustle for making it happen. It's like both things at the same time.
I'm watching the video right now. Fact for me, okay? It's not just top-tier trolling. This woman has some heart. Some passion.
Yeah,
she
they
cares.
were screwed.
She's literally in the tunnelway, Trav. So it's not even like she's a couple rows back in one of the seats. She's in the tunnel. She's close enough if she wanted to.
Like he heard.
No, she's close enough to basically touch Lincoln Riley, and she's coming with that left hand like this, and Lincoln Riley addresses her right back. If you told me that somebody, and I almost feel like
you do it to Dean Spanos.
Yes, it's a shame that I haven't had this opportunity. But if you say, Alan, you could put yourself in those shoes right there.
Norman to do it. If I told you got to spend your own money, but you're going to get into the tunnel.
Yep.
Dean Spanos is coming
and I get to have,
and you get to call him a name.
My
and
God.
he'll hear you.
And he will definitely hear you.
Yes.
Yeah.
That sounds like. Can somebody set that up for me? That sounds amazing.
All right. We'll go to Vivid Seats and see what we can do for you. All right. So over the weekend, Taylor Swift opened up her tour in South America and Argentina. And Travis Kelce on his bye week decided to be there. And her original words of this one song, Karma, was, Karma is the guy on the screen coming straight home to me, which is reference to her old boyfriend of 6 years who was an actor. And so then she changed it to Karma is the guy on the Chiefs coming straight home to me. So I'm going to play the sound really quick, and then I'll give you my statement.
Okay.
Karma is the guy on the screen coming straight home to me. Karma is the guy on the Chiefs.
All right, so that's the reaction, and there's videos of Travis Kelce being super excited. So my statement...
fans' reaction is pretty comical, okay?
The statement is, they are acting like high schoolers. Travis, Factor Cap.
Taylor and Travis are acting like high schoolers? Oh, fact. Yeah. It's just.
I feel like there's more that you want to let out.
And,
please.
wait, don't worry. She ran off the stage and kissed him in front of everybody.
No. Please, Trav, tell us how you feel over there.
I think my face is more than enough.
What's wrong?
I have hit my saturation point with this, and I believe that they're acting like high schoolers, including the let me run and give you a little. Was the kiss passionate or was it just performative?
It was like a kiss that it was just like lip to lip, holding, hugging, and then they separated. Okay.
It was at 8:10. It was on the rundown. It was on the rundown.
What do you think?
Fact, yes, they're acting like high schoolers, but I'm going to keep going back to this. Whether you and I like it or not, which we clearly think this is just comical.
No, comical puts a smile on my face.
We're talking about it. Again, we're talking about it. The crowd reaction was...
I'm only servicing the people who have tagged me in this all weekend,
The
okay?
crowd-
People are expecting to hear me talk about this.
The crowd reaction was middle school. I don't think we're the right people to ask the opinion on.
Well, it's our show. We should probably be asked.
No. What I'm saying is that...
Which is why I'm asking you.
But my point is that what's your opinion on it? Do you think it's cheesy? Do you think it's like, oh my gosh, this
cheesy,
is too much?
But I've been around my friends who have just started dating people, and they act the same way. And it's like people can be in this heat of like young love and want to be really cheesy together. And so I've experienced this a lot with friends so that I kind of roll my eyes at it. But
is
if
it
people
organic?
are happy, they're happy.
Is it organic?
Yes, I guess. I don't know.
I don't care about them doing what they. It's the reaction that is so puzzling to me. Like did she change the lyrics or something? Whatever. That's kind of what she does.
It's kind of funny though. It's
fine.
like yeah.
She
actually doesn't change the lyrics that
my
often.
complete disdain for this topic, and not even the topic. That's the wrong way to say it. My complete disdain for the sound that you played is the people squealing like 4-year-olds because she said the guy playing for the Chiefs. Great. Awesome. Way
so
to
you
go.
think that the crowd is definitely acting like
yes,
elementary school?
No, the crowd's reaction, screaming the way they were, is that's
Jorge?
something else.
Just let them be. Like at this point, like we're gonna see it often. People are gonna react to this stuff. Just just let them be. Let them be happy.
All right, I had to get it in because people were asking me to talk about it.
I'm glad you got it in. I just that elicits that kind of reaction is interesting. The worst team in the NFL should probably fire their coach, right? Unless the coach is a legend. That's coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. And if you are hurt in an accident, you should call a legend. And Sweet James is a legend, right? Sweet James has been doing this 20 years. Sweet James used to work for the insurance company. Sweet James knows what to do if you've been hurt in a car, trucking, or motorcycle accident better than anyone else. That's why they've been awarded Best Attorneys in America. You heard me, Best Attorneys in America. You've got multiple attorneys looking at every case. They're going to make sure that the car is fixed correctly, that your medical care is covered, and of course, the settlement. Life-changing settlements can come from these moments when you're hurt in an accident, and that's where the justice comes in. That's what getting what you deserve is so important. Not getting what the insurance company offers, not getting some piddly little settlement where, okay, we'll just take it, we'll move on, we'll do another one. No, getting you what you're entitled to. That's what Sweet James does. Whether it's during the settlement process or whether it's during the trial process, Sweet James will get you what you're entitled to. And if they don't get that settlement, they're going to go to trial and they're going to win 98% of the time. So if you're hurt in an accident, call Sweet James, 1-800-9-MILLION, 1-800-900-0000, and sweetjames.com.
Sedano and Cap for your afternoon drive. Return of $1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
Your chance to win $1 million from 710 ESPN.
Listen every Monday this football season for your chance at $1 million. $1 Million Mondays.
Presented by Hollywood Park Casino. Eat, drink, play.
Listen every Monday to 710 ESPN. When you hear the cue to call, be caller number 7. Give us your Super Bowl prediction. Both teams and the final score, and you could be winning $1 million this football season on LA's $1 Million Mega Sports Station. 710 ESPN.
Since nobody asked, I figure I might as well bring it up. Our picks against the spread over the weekend?
Yeah, I got rocked.
Yeah, ish.
Sort of rocked.
Rocked to Jason, not rocked.
Yeah.
You're all right. You got your 4-point game.
It's the only one I got.
No, you only got your 4-point game,
luckily.
but you got your 4-point game, so you have 4. I finished in third. I actually picked 3 of 4 correct, but missed my 4-point game. I've gotten SC wrong every week this year. I pick with them, they lose. I pick against them, they cover. So that's the only one I missed. Jorge, you finished in second place this week. You had 8 points. You went 3-1. Emily also went 3-1, but had it laid out in a much better order. You only missed your 1-point game, Em.
Let's go.
9 points. So here's where we are overall.
So I'm back to last. So I got to third place for 1 week.
In last again, but not by much. Jorge's got the lead, 61. I'm in second, 57. M's in third again. She got back out of the cellar. She's at 54, and then you're 1 point behind at 53.
53?
Yeah.
We got some work
So
to do.
we're all right. We got some work 8 weeks left. 10 weeks into the books. 8 weeks left. You're all right. And Jorge's only 8 points ahead.
Yeah.
That's nothing. That's 1 week.
He got the Niner one. The Niner one.
Everybody was on the Niners except for you, Slee.
I think that was a low.
I don't blame you for that.
I don't think I had much in that. I think that was my one.
That was your one.
Yeah.
That was your one. Jacksonville had won 5 in a row. San Francisco had lost 3 in a row.
Yep.
It was in Jacksonville. So, of course, San Francisco won by 180 points.
Yeah, it was good.
That's
domination, too.
We need them to go on a clunker again so Jorge's 4 just keeps getting wiped.
I think, actually, it's going to start working in his favor again.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
I think
McCaffrey
you're right.
didn't score. His record. That goes his record.
Okay, what did you guys think of that? Did you guys watch the end of that game?
Yeah, where they were giving it to him 4 times in a row.
So they're way up. The game has been completely decided.
Yep.
It's the last possession where Christian McCaffrey is going to be in the game, and they just keep feeding him, trying to get him that touchdown, and he didn't get in.
I felt fine about it. I just knew that when they're forcing it, it's not going to happen.
What was the score at that point?
It was a blowout because
Yeah.
the final score was a blowout.
Yeah, I don't care for it. Like, if they don't give him the ball and just decide, hey, we got the W, this thing's over, let's just not worry about it, I'm
Final
more
score
okay
is
with that.
34-3.
So, yeah, it's the final score. Yeah, I don't, not necessary. You see this sometimes in the NBA as well, where it's like the guy, and I get it, if the dude's got 45,
yeah,
but if the squad is up 25, I don't know if you want to keep that guy in.
This is also like a historic record to score in 18 games in a row. It's pretty cool.
Now, correct, I'm going by memory here. He already has the record, or he's tied with it?
He's tied it?
I think he's definitely tied with it. He might have had it so he needed one more game to be by himself. Okay, then that's okay. Well, even if you had a 78-point lead with 8 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
He was like, yeah, I'm a bum. Everyone else scored in this game.
He said I suck.
Yeah,
Hell,
which is true.
other than him calling himself a bum, everybody else did score in that game. It was they looked like themselves all over.
I want to see a quote from him saying, I'm upset Debo's back.
So the Carolina Panthers have the worst record in the league. They're 1-8. Carolina Panthers do not have their own pick. The Houston Texans own their pick. So right now, Houston.
The Chicago Bears own their pick.
I'm sorry. Thank you, Em. The Chicago Bears own their pick. You're right. So the Bears have their pick at 1-8. The Bears are 3-7 with their own pick. So they're in. They would currently pick 5th. The Bears would. The team that would pick 2nd if the season ended today are the New England Patriots, who are 2-8. And a bad 2-8. They looked terrible. Their offense was nowhere. They benched Mac Jones in Germany yesterday. And the Raiders beat them up a couple of weeks ago.
They had the fake spike.
Exactly. They look. Not only are they not good, they don't have a lot of good players. Their coaching staff is widely considered one of the weakest in the league as far as assistant coaches go. Bill Belichick really has not been able to fix this team for the last multiple seasons along the way. Is it time for him to go? Because it's bubbled up, right? I know they gave him an extension. I know that it's a multi-year extension, but Bob Kraft said yesterday, I've been in this league 30 years. I've never been 2-7 before. Bill Belichick looks like he's not the guy that was the reason that thing went 20 years where they'd go to the Super Bowl every other year. Tom Brady was the answer. That decades-old question. Hey, is it Brady or is it Belichick? And I think we all kind of said, it's probably both. Well, Brady left
or
and
lean
won a
towards
Super Bowl.
Belichick. I always lean towards coaches.
Sure.
Yeah.
Brady leaves, goes and wins the Super Bowl, and then goes to the playoffs again. Immediately. Right. And by the way, goes to the playoffs every year.
With Tampa. It's not even like he went to a franchise that is.
Right. New England's been bad since he left. So that question feels like it's been answered. Could you really fire Bill Belichick?
Okay, so I think a couple things to this. What you're saying is, because he signed a lucrative multi-year deal with the Patriots in the offseason. Do you want me to put that to the side? Because the reason why I put it to the side is if they didn't just ink him to another deal, I think the conversation has more strength behind it. Now, could they easily in the offseason, can Robert Kraft sit down with Bill Belichick and say, look, we want to move in a different direction. Can we just figure out the financial stuff of this? And then we could talk about how you're ready to I don't think he's going to retire because he's got a record that he's trying to break.
Schula.
Right. So I think he's got interest in I don't think the Patriots can fire him. Let's put it that way. Based off of these circumstances that are there, I don't think they could fire him. Also, what might not be a bad thing is, like you said, they're playing so bad, they might be in a position where they could potentially draft Caleb Williams in X amount of months or whatever the case is. I think that's also something to keep in mind. But to fire one of the greatest to do it, how many Super Bowls? Yeah.
6.
He's got 6 Super Bowls.
6 wins.
6 wins in the Super Bowl. Not appearances.
9 appearances.
Yep, just wins.
Yeah.
No, I think it has to be one of those. Yeah, I'm okay with moving on rather than the owner coming in and telling him you got to go.
I think you already missed the opportunity with Brady to retire in a Patriots uniform, and so to have someone else that they can't, the two together. I think that they would hold on to Belichick longer than they should because they've already missed him the Brady.
My question is, if they let him go, if they fire him, would somebody else want to hire him?
100%.
Okay.
He would be hired as quickly. However quickly he would want to get hired, that's how long it would take for her.
Commanders, Bears,
there would be
Chargers,
a lot of people that want to hire him. No question about it. I'm not saying that he would be out of work, but it doesn't work anymore, right? Clearly, this is an organization that is broken, that they don't draft particularly well. He puts his kids on the staff, his buddies on the staff. It's a bad staff. And it's one thing if you want to be doing that and you're still knocking around. They have the second worst team in the league on the heels of not being a particularly strong team last year, on the heels of really falling off of a cliff pretty dramatically.
And he built it.
But he's
also the GM.
It's almost the only thing going for them is that they are this bad right now, but it's not by design. You know, we talk about...
Yeah, they probably aren't trying to tank.
We talk about the Rams, and the Rams just kind of... There's probably a reason why they don't have a good backup quarterback. We talk about the Rams. There's probably a reason why they're not aggressive at the trade. Yeah, because losing is in their best interest at this point, but I don't know if that was ever the strategy for the Patriots. They're more following into it.
The money part doesn't really... I would not put it to you this way. I would not be surprised if between now and the end of the season, if something doesn't come up, we've decided to mutually part ways. We've decided to, I have a health issue. We're doing. You can say whatever you want to
take a break.
Call it a firing, right? Mm-hmm. Any of those things. And to Jorge's point, maybe he says, to sell this, I want to sit out a year and I'll wait and I'll come back because if you gave that guy a Justin Herbert friend, the Chargers would be a lot better.
We've heard that
with
rumor,
Bill
by the way.
Belichick before.
That rumor has come up.
He wants to. The Don Shula thing's interesting because Don Shula, when I was a kid watching the Dolphins, Don Shula was like, oh my gosh, that's Don Shula.
Sure.
Wow, Don Shula, right? One of the most successful coaches ever. And you watch, you're like, his teams kind of suck every year. Why are we talking about Don Shula like this? Because it had happened. I got there too late. It wasn't that he wasn't a great coach. I just didn't see a whole heck of a lot of it. By the time I was aware of what was going on, the bloom was off the rose. It was like they can't even win with Dan Marino. That's how bad this team is. Is that not a lot like this is going on with Belichick, where it's like, look, I get it. It's Bill Belichick. I lived through this version of it. But you just watch that team. That's a terrible football team.
So Belichick is in his 24th season, and Schula did it in 31 years.
Yeah. Oh, he's going to get the record.
Yeah.
He's not going unless,
unless he's averaging 4 wins a year, he's going to have to coach for.
They're going to have to get hot to get 4 wins, Lee, because they got 2 right now, and they haven't looked good in a long time. great Thursday night game coming up. Thursday Night Football has a new home, and it's the 909 Sports Bar at Yamava Resort and Casino. Join Kaplan, DeMarco Farr, producer Lindsay Morales, and the 710 Fun and Games Department this Thursday night for a party, giving away $1,000 every Thursday night. That's this Thursday from 4 to 7 at the 909 Sports Bar. Win cash and watch football, and it's the Bengals and the Ravens. It's a good game.
I'll take that.
That's a really.
I'll take
now,
that.
These teams don't like each other.
Well, Thursday night, so the game, like the quality of play will be sloppy because they usually are, but it'll be close.
Okay, but
it'll be good.
You are a good example of this. You watch Thursday night games.
Every single one.
I don't, unless it's a good matchup. We got a good matchup.
Lakers made a change to the starting lineup, and all is right with the world. Maybe. That's next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
Caller number 7.
Yeah, we do. Caller number 7 is Sam Rodriguez in Anaheim. Congratulations, Sam. How you feeling today?
Hey, I'm doing way better now. Just what's winning with this. I'm super pumped up.
Fantastic. So do you know how it works, Sam? You need to give us your Super Bowl prediction, both the teams and the final score for your chance to win $1 million.
Yes.
What do you got?
Okay, I got the 49ers 31 and the Chiefs 24.
31-24, the 49ers beat the Chiefs. That's your pick.
Yes.
All right, Sam Rodriguez from Anaheim. Good luck with your Super Bowl prediction, and thanks for playing $1 Million Mondays. And just for playing, you win 2 tickets to SoFi Stadium for a game on December 3rd against the Browns. $1 Million Mondays on 710 ESPN, presented by Hollywood Park Casino. Eat, drink, play. Good job, Sam. Good luck. That's a good pick.
That's all it took.
Kind of chalk.
1 week.
You got to go chalk, right?
It took 1 week, and the Niners are back in the mix.
Niners in the mix. You got to pick the Niners or the Eagles in the NFC, right? I mean, I guess you could throw a Dallas or a Detroit in there if you're feeling really frisky, but over the Niners or the Eagles, I don't think so.
Okay, if you got to pick one of those two teams to make the Super Bowl, okay, either the Niners or the Chiefs. I know separate, they can play each other, but who do you have more confidence in of those
Chiefs,
two teams?
because
Really?
they got
Okay, I would
Mahomes.
say Niners.
They got Mahomes.
I think the AFC is...
I don't like either one of them to get there. But between those two, the Eagles have actually not even played all that well, and they've lost one game. Like, they haven't had that game where you're like, oh, my gosh, look at that, where they're just trucking people. And the Niners schedule is about to get very hard. They're about to go into a stretch where they're playing a bunch of good teams, including Philadelphia. Philly looks really, really... Let me rephrase.
AFC, I feel like, is more open.
It feels like you could pick 7 teams out of the AFC. Now, the Chiefs are the best bet because of the quarterback.
But I also feel like the AFC has a lot of frauds. A lot of people that I'm like, I do not trust them.
Some fugazis out there.
Okay. The top of the list, Em, is this a fraud or is this a guy that you trust? What about Baltimore and Lamar Jackson?
So I believe that they're good. I don't believe that they're going to the Super Bowl.
Who would you pick out of the AFC?
I would pick the Chiefs.
Me too.
Yeah. Just going super chalky here, but yeah, Chiefs.
Who's the next best bet, Al? If it's not the Chiefs, is it Baltimore? Is it the Ravens?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Miami?
Miami?
Anybody
Yeah,
want Miami?
No, I would take Baltimore over Miami.
Bengals? Okay, because I understand Bengals have been really bad in the regular season this year so far, and they've had good games, but in the playoffs, they are a different beast.
Who do you trust? This is just in order. Do you trust Baltimore?
Yes.
I trust them more
In
than
the
a lot of these other teams.
Postseason.
Yeah.
In the postseason.
Okay. Do you trust?
He has won one game.
Do you trust Jacksonville?
No.
Do you trust Miami?
Not really.
Do you trust Pittsburgh?
Yes.
Oh.
Look, I don't either. I don't trust Pittsburgh.
Okay, Pittsburgh can only win a game if it's 12-15.
But they keep winning games 15-12. They keep
But
doing
they're
it.
honestly just getting lucky.
Okay, I'm
Kenny
with you.
Pickett
There's
is not going to go to the Super Bowl.
I
I'm
don't
just
think
saying
so
that.
either, but I like Mike Tomlin. I like their defense. I like the fact that they make it
It's more
ugly.
the history of Pittsburgh and their philosophy.
They make a trade?
And their
Are
philosophy.
they 6-3? Is that what they are?
Yeah, they are 6-3.
6-3 is not. Doesn't feel like it's a.
Do you trust
tight grade.
Cleveland?
I trust that defense. That defense might be the best defense in the entire.
Okay,
league.
And then Deshaun Watson is playing well.
After that, look at the teams that you have that's behind them. Texans, I know they're kind of coming out of nowhere. Cincinnati's there. Buffalo's there. Chargers like 3-4 steps back of that.
So here's the thing. Buffalo, not so much because we've seen enough of that to where it's like, okay, that just doesn't look good. Their defense sucks. But I do love Josh Allen. Joe Burrow is bad, you know what. And he shows up when it matters most. Like that, he's kind of the opposite of what you're talking about with Lamar Jackson. Joey Burrow.
Put him in a playoff game, and it don't matter where it is. It doesn't matter what the situation is.
I know their record's not great, and I know that they kind of let one go yesterday. Fact of the matter is, the first 4 weeks of the season, he was playing on one leg. You can almost kind of throw that away. Since then, when he's been healthy, they've been good. I would always bet on that guy, too. He's pretty remarkable.
And I also, again, I think the Chiefs are going to round into form, and they're going to be the Chiefs that they were. Like, if I was going to bet Chiefs for the field in the AFC right now, I'd still take the Chiefs.
Is there a reason why on Twitter, to the right, kind of gives suggestions of who to follow? That Taylor Swift continues to be on the right there. I don't follow her. Stop telling me to follow her. I don't follow her.
Is there?
I know
she has enough. She has enough.
She definitely does, and I don't know if they're just.
There's got to be a way to.
They're
make
listening.
It go away.
I
You
think
can
they're
say
just
not interested. You can go to the right, and then
I know, but they're listening in, and maybe it's because we're having our conversations. They're like, "Yeah, this idiot talks about her 4 times a week.
No,
Why
this
isn't he
idiot
following her?"
listens to someone else talk about her 4 times a week.
I like how in this scenario you're still the idiot, but you're just listening to
That
someone
narrative
else.
didn't change. Yep, he's still an idiot.
The idiocy is still in the same place. That hasn't changed all that much. Austin Reaves,
That's fun.
6th man.
Yeah.
Not a big deal unless he wasn't supposed to be your 6th man. Not a big deal if this is just a battle of attrition and guys are going down. But Austin Reaves did not look like himself for the first part of the season. Austin Reaves gets moved to the second unit, kind of, to lead that. Gets the ball in his hands a lot more. He's looked a lot better. Lakers are 2-0 since they've moved him to the bench. Cam Reddish into the starting lineup.
He's had a couple good games. Yep.
If this were the first 10 games after paying him, and we all kind of agreed, like, okay, he's going to be the 3rd best player on the team. If all those things weren't together, you go, yeah, not a big deal. Is it a big deal?
I think it's a big deal for this. I think we all had our vision of what this Lakers team was going to be to start out the year. A lot of optimism of what the team's going to look like, the potential going 10, 11, 12 deep. And then I think the 10 games in, you have the coach at one point questioning the effort of the team. They're making a starting lineup change 9 games in.
That's the thing, yeah.
Okay, so a big deal for those reasons. It doesn't mean it's not the right move. It doesn't mean that's not street. I didn't really see any Laker fans because it came out of nowhere on Friday. I did the pregame show. Pregame show was done, and then they send out the starting lineups, and it's like, what? Nobody had any idea what was going to happen. There was no – I don't think it's a big deal, but I also don't think anybody was complaining that, well, this is BS. How you taking Austin Reaves out? Why would you take Austin Reaves out? That guy's got to be in the starting lineup. Reaves came off the bench, and it was like, well, try it. Bench. Friday night, he played 35 minutes.
Yeah, he's still playing the same amount.
So that part is not going to be the issue. I think the point that you mentioned to start off, is it a big deal or not? Yeah, it's kind of a big deal.
Because
Austin
of how
Reaves,
little – it took 8 games before they
to say,
decided to
let's
change
try
it.
something different.
Yeah.
So
That's the
I
part
do
that's
think.
interesting to me because his minutes are going to be his minutes. I don't think it's going to affect the amount of minutes. I think he'll be on the court at the end of the game, closing games with LeBron and AD and whoever else may be out there. I think he's part of that closing crew that's inevitable. But it's hard to just go, it's a basket. Pretty quick to make – because it is drastic. It is – maybe drastic's the wrong word. It's very noticeable that when you do that if you decide to go in that – because – it's the opposite of the progression that we got last year, which is, hey, that Austin Reaves guy's pretty good. He should play a little more. To, hey, he's really playing well. Let's play him a lot more. To, he should be in the starting lineup. To, is he their third best player? To, you better pay him and not let him get away.
Sure.
To, hey, now we're going the other way. He got paid and he's in the starting lineup, and now we're pulling him out of the starting lineup. And it's just the timeline of it all. That we got all the way to the top of the mountain, and now we're already starting to go back down the other side. Or maybe it's just temporary. Maybe they put him back in there. But I was struck by the timing of it much more so than – because it's not a demotion, but it's also not great. It's not good news when they take you out of the starting lineup. That's never something you're looking for.
Well, I think you also, listen to the coaches. Listen to Darvin Ham after the game. Guys, one of the greatest to ever do it was Manu Ginobili. He came off the bench. I think you're also trying to justify. Let's not make any Manu Ginobili, Austin Reeves comps.
No,
that's
not
we
a
don't
great
need to
idea.
do that. But I think there's going to be sacrifice on this team anyways because you have 10, 11, 12 guys that can play. Now, if you'd have told me before the season, hey, something's going to happen in the first 10 games, do you think Austin Reaves is going to get benched after 10 games? Benched as in come off the bench, no longer in the starting lineup? Or do you think D'Angelo Russell is going to be coming off the bench?
No question.
I'd pick D'Lo.
Me too.
I would say, yeah, D'Lo. Reaves ain't going anywhere, guys. Reaves does a little bit of everything. Can you justify why you would take Austin Reaves out? So I think for those reasons, and I think the main thing that you and I both said, I don't think the world's going to end. I think actually if it looks better and it makes more sense, if the Lakers are 100% healthy, they got all their guys, and Reaves is coming off the bench. That means your bench is Gabe Vincent, Austin Reaves, Rui Hachimura, Christian Wood, Cam Reddish. That's a really, really good 5 coming off the bench. Now we just have to kick back, wait, and see if it looks good and how it plays out.
Yes. And it's also weird that 8 games into the season, Austin Reaves is out of the starting lineup. Both of those things are true. Because it's so quick. If halfway through the season, Lakers are floating around. At some point, you just got to, hey, we got to try something. We got to light a fire. We got to just, let's just mix it up and see what happens. That happened after 8 games.
Yeah.
And to your point, this could very easily be the right move. It look, Portland stinks, so it's hard to measure anything. But you beat Phoenix. You won 2 in a row. You won your first road game of the season. At least whatever momentum you can gain in 2 weeks with him being on, coming out off of the bench. It's okay, it's 2-0. It's not the, it's not the Celtics and the, Denver Nuggets, but it's 2-0 is 2-0, and let's see what it looks like. But 8 games in made you go, that's pretty quick.
Did you get a migraine from watching the game on Friday with the purple court? I'm not kidding. I couldn't.
It was the strip of turquoise in the middle of it
that was throwing you off.
Yeah,
I think the purple got me.
The Suns aren't turquoise; they're purple and orange. They have. You know how I know? Because they've been purple and orange for
a little
60
while.
years. They're purple and orange.
Been that color
It's
for
like
a little bit.
if the Lakers had a big stripe of red in the middle of their court, you'd be
Why
like,
doesn't go with them?
They don't have.
Maybe the Bulls.
They're not red. Yeah, the
Right,
Bulls,
should be.
Sure.
That one makes sense.
Maybe the Heat, the Blazers. Sure.
Like the red teams.
Yeah, the red. Yes, the red teams. The teams that are yellow and purple shouldn't have red. And the Laker.
Time KD had the ball, I'm like, I have a headache. I had a headache watching that game on Friday.
The Laker in-season tournament court is the best one I've seen so far because guess what color it is?
It's their colors.
Take a guess.
The Bulls one wasn't bad.
Let's go yellow.
And?
Let's go purple.
Yep. Seems like they got that right. More college football corner. Plus, LeBron didn't play last night, and I don't know how to ask you this question, Slee, but I'm going to ask it anyway. It's coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN.
Coming up today.
time for producer Emily's College Football Corner. Take it away, producer Em.
All right, y'all. Last one here for today, but Colorado lost to Arizona 34-31 over the weekend, and they are now at 4-6. Okay, so they have 2 games left in their schedule, one against Washington State, one against Utah. In order to qualify for a bowl game, you have to get to 6 wins, okay? So they would have to win out, and again, they could beat Washington State, but the Utah one is one that's going to be very difficult for them to beat. So are you rooting for them to make a bowl game just to see that they do it? Travis?
Absolutely. I mean, the Coach Prime story that was the story of college football for the first 4 weeks of the season, right? That they beat TCU, then they had that...
Where their wins kind of came at.
Right, and then they had the great one against Colorado State.
State.
It was back and
double
forth.
overtime.
They gave a really good run for their money against USC. They got trucked by Oregon, but it was really a fun topic. Like, Coach Prime is, at least, I don't know, I'll speak for anybody else. I root for the guy. I really do. I think it's an interesting story. I like that he's 100% comfortable in his own skin. I like Deion Sanders. I'm a fan. But that his team kind of sucks is not a huge surprise. This was a work in progress. What was the surprise was that they got off to such a good start. They don't have, much like we talked about with the LA Rams, there just comes a point where I don't have enough good players. So I might be able to steal a game here or there, but the deeper you go into the season, the bigger that talent gap is, and that's what Colorado's running into.
So College game day won't be at Washington State at 7:30 this upcoming weekend.
Combined 2 wins in conference.
Here's the disappointing part. I don't think they're going to get there. I don't think they're going to get a bowl game. And they had some games where they
could get close.
But this is the part that I think that the storyline was awesome. You appreciate what they did. That Stanford game killed them. That Stanford game, if you remember, that's when they were up.
30-point lead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, even these last couple of games, give them credit. Oregon State, number 16 in the country, was a one-score game.
Number 10 now.
Are they number 10 now?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's right. At that time, they were 16.
Yeah.
The Arizona game this past week, 34-31.
Ranked team, Arizona.
Another ranked team. That's the part that sucks.
They're
is because,
much better than they were last year.
Oh, yeah.
But the part that sucks is the 4 in a row that they've lost. They lost that game to Stanford. I wish we were talking about them in a bowl game.
I'll kind of put these two things together really quick. Chip Kelly's got to go, right? The Chip Kelly experiment, which when they hired him, felt like the right guy, that he's, this, that, and the other thing. He's got a pedigree at Oregon. Fact of the matter is, since Chip Kelly left Oregon, his teams have been bad. They were bad in San Francisco. They were bad in Philadelphia, and they're not very good here at UCLA. They're just not good. He's 33-33. They lost to a 16.5-point underdog by 10 points. They've never won a bowl game with Chip Kelly. They're 3-4 in the Pac-12 this year, despite not playing the 2 best teams in the league in Oregon and Washington. That they haven't won the league in 30 years.
Wow.
Which is remarkable. If you said, hey, listen, Deion Sanders is coming to UCLA, let's go. Deion Sanders could go 4 and let's say they lose the last 2. 4-8. They hired Deion Sanders. I'd be jumping up and down.
I mean, he sold out the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. He won. It's just that is something that I'm very interested in, despite the fact that they're not winning a bunch of games. Chip Kelly, see you later, buddy. See you later, buddy. So here's what I can't put my finger on.
Okay.
Let me start with a definitive statement. The Lakers are not better without LeBron James. Duh, right? Michael Thompson, duh. The Lakers look really different without LeBron James, right? He didn't play last night. And I get it. Portland's not good. I get it. But it just seems that there's a different, and I don't know if it's just that, hey, he's not coming to the rescue, so everybody else needs to do a little bit more.
It is. Yep.
But it just feels very different when he's not in uniform. What is that? What am I looking at?
I'll tell you what it is. We've said this. Lakers aren't going to go anywhere unless Bron is available and unless LeBron James is LeBron James.
Correct.
But I was also excited. This came out a couple hours before the game started that LeBron wasn't going to play. I'll tell you why I was looking forward to the game, because Bron wasn't going to play. Now I get to really kind of see some of these other guys. You said it's like the emergency break or something. Anytime something's not going right, it's like, well, just give the ball to LeBron. Okay, well, you can't do that because he's not there.
Right.
How many times have we had this year where LeBron goes to try to take a 5-minute breather, Lakers are down 3, he comes back in, they're down 11.
Mm-hmm.
Or they're down 6 and they're down 14 now, whatever the case is. This team needs to figure out how can we keep the engine going when Braun is A, not playing a game, or B, is just trying to get a breather for a second. 6 guys scored in double figures yesterday, okay? Which is how it should be. There's no one person that's going to replace LeBron. But there's something about we don't have a person we could just – even Anthony Davis on the floor is less of a escape valve, even though they're going to go to Anthony Davis. Actually, it was nice seeing that yesterday.
I was just going to say.
There was a lot of moments that it was like, okay, we don't really know what to do. How about throw it to the 7-foot guy that has an unbelievable skill set and let him go to work? So I think there was – I don't know where the offense is going to come from. I don't know who's going to contribute. I don't know who's going to go get the next bucket, where I think when LeBron's on the floor, it's you have a much better idea.
Here's what I'm looking for, and I don't know if this is even possible. I want them to play like LeBron isn't there in the moments that he is there but not playing. Right? In those
that makes sense.
Those 5 minutes that he takes at the end of the first quarter, or the little 3 or 4 minute breathers that he's trying to collect, they need to pretend that he's not coming back into the game. So when he comes back in the game, you didn't dig yourself a deeper hole.
Maybe
or go
you
from
grew your lead.
Maybe. But they are different without him. They're not better, but it really, like watching last night, it's like, there's a certain amount of, hey, look, we got to figure this out because, he's not coming in here to bail us all out. He's not going to be able to come in here. He's not saving us. And when you know it's not happening, you either are going to fix it or you're not. Whereas if he's there, it's like, well, okay, he came in. Well, LeBron didn't, go score the last 10 points of the game or whatever it may be. But it still feels like they're asking him to do that even when he's sitting on the bench catching his breath.
Is it safe to say that it's the only way the team's going to be successful, is that some of the stuff that you saw yesterday is what you see when LeBron's not on the floor? Because God bless the Portland Trailblazers, but if they play that game yesterday, let's say that game yesterday was against Minnesota, who's got off to a really good start,
right?
And Lakers lose by 15, then we're all saying, we just got to get Braun back. Hurry up and get Braun back. But I almost want to see them in more challenging games without LeBron for the reason that I'm talking about. The only way you're going to be successful at the end is you have the ability to still be successful when Braun is taking a break.
Well, and the other part could be true too. The Lakers are 5-5, and LeBron has only missed the one game, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and not only in the other 9 games he played a lot. There's only been a couple of games where he was not playing, 35 plus. What's his average? 35.9?
It was 36, I think, last time we saw.
So let's call it 36. If you keep playing him 36 minutes a night, he's not going to play in 90% of your games. That just seems very unlikely, right? So far, he's played in 90% of the games at 36 minutes a game. That doesn't seem like a winning combination. So you're either going to and you're 5-5. So your mediocre results playing your best player heavy minutes and playing in just about every game
in November.
So you're gonna have to figure this out as we get later in the season, because he's not going to play in 90% of the games.
Yeah,
he's probably not going to play 36 minutes a night. And even if he did, we've seen that that's about a 500 team. It has to get better with everybody else, and those games without him, like last night. Again, Portland's not good, but it matters. You got to see at least a step in the right direction.
Yeah, and like I think the Portland thing you're talking about, they didn't have, first off, they're a rebuilding team. Scoot Henderson didn't play. Anthony Simons didn't play. Robert Williams III is out for the year. Malcolm Brogdon was out. So they were also missing a lot of guys. But I still think they got this interesting stretch coming up, Trav, where this week they should be stacking up some wins. Next week they should be stacking up some wins. They have Portland again. They have Memphis. They have Utah. They have like the bottom of the Western Conference. And I think these are going to be the games where guys like whoever it is, Rui, Cam Reddish, if you want to throw Austin Reaves in there, Christian Wood, start feeling like, hey, even when LeBron's not in, we can have some success.
They're going to have to.
Yeah, they are.
Or there is no success.
Yeah.
They can either have success without him or no success. Those are the two options. Because we know what he's going to do. There's not a lot of ambiguity on what LeBron is going to bring to the table. You know exactly what he's going to do. He's going to have the ball in his hands. He's going to be awesome. He's going to make great decisions. He's going to get his buckets. He's going to drop his dimes. We know what he's going to do. What are the rest of you guys going to do? And what are you going to do on the days he's not here? That's what they got to figure out.
Where are you on the Cam Reddish stock right now?
I didn't know it was available.
It is available.
Not
right
interested.
now we are selling Cam Reddish stock.
Nope, you can have it.
No, you sure?
Yeah,
because you can't come back in a week and ask for Cam Reddish stock.
I'm willing to risk it.
I mean, LeBron knows what he's talking about.
Call me crazy.
Yeah.
What do I know? Yeah. But when a guy's on a new team every year, I go, let's take a look and see what's going on here.
Come on,
but LeBron makes the right play every time.
My concern is not about LeBron. That's not the problem. My concern lies with other players. Hot and cold coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. Hey, if you get hurt in an accident, call Sweet James. 1-800-9-million. That's the number you call. 1-800-9
Since Sliwa, as you know, we've welcomed the new partner here at 710 ESPN, NextGen. NextGen, the official AC, heat, and plumbing company of SoCal sports fans.
You're as cold as ice.
Call 833-3-NEXTGEN, NEXGEN, or visit nextgenairandplumbing.com. Time for our feature we do 3 days a week at 12:30 p.m. Who's hot? Who's cold? Thanks to NextGen.
Boy, time for Who's Hot? Who's Cold? Take it away, Producer M.
I got distracted just now because I was seeing the Monday Blitz, and it was just Mac Jones plays over and over again, and that just should not be burned into my eyes anymore.
That interception he threw that ultimately got him hooked was
so bad.
About as bad as you'll see an NFL player throw a pass. That was dreadful.
He is neither hot nor cold, but
he just sucks.
Who is hot is Tony Bennett. So Tony Bennett is the coach of the University of Virginia basketball team, the men's basketball team, and they were playing Florida over the weekend, and a play happened. So Corey Alexander is the color analyst for ACC Network. He also is a former UVA men's basketball player. So he's from Virginia. He played for the team. He has connections to the university. So he's calling the game for ACC Network. And he sees a play on his screen that the refs don't have the right angle on this replay. That they're going to make a bad call because they don't have the right angle. So he calls the refs over and it's like, hey, look at our screen. And Tony Bennett does not like this. And Tony Bennett is a very mild-mannered man. Like, he is does not get angry very often, is a very nice person. But he is yelling at Corey Alexander. So I'm going to play the sound of Corey Alexander talking about this interaction here.
We're going to have our officials look at this again.
Yeah, they're going to come to our side and take a look at the replay that we have that clearly seemed pretty definitive.
And so, now TB's upset with me on this one because I'm telling them. So Tony Bennett is now yelling at me from across the court for allowing the officials to know, but the basketball goes out. It's the right play on the floor.
So if the point of replay is to get calls right, this is how you should do it.
Can I say this? There's a great example of this. End of the game yesterday, Clippers are playing Memphis. Okay. And I'm like, I'm going to throw this game on. And they did one of those replays, and the replay was, who'd the ball go off of?
Right, this is the same kind of thing.
But it's irritating for this reason alone. Terrence Mann fouled the living you-know-what out of whoever it was on Memphis. Let's say it's Marcus Smart. Fouled him. Got a rebound. Fouled him. Terrence Mann never touched the ball. All he did was foul the living you-know-what out of. So initially they called it Memphis's ball. They go and do the replay, and because the ball, let's again call it Marcus Smart, goes off Marcus Smart, even though he just got karate chopped in the arm by Terrence Mann, they give the ball to the Clippers. And now Clippers have a chance to win this game. Can we just get it right? So for the coach, Tony Bennett, as you're saying, if that's the right call, then just live with it. If it's the right call, live with it.
I hate replay in every single one of its forms now. I've completely come around on this to the point where if it can be computer fixed, let's do that. Tennis, in or out. We know instantly.
A chip in the ball.
A chip in the ball.
And we know instantly is the key there.
The box in the strike zone. It either went through the box or it didn't.
Keep it moving.
Right?
Let's go.
Keep it moving. But if we're going to go by it touched a fingernail or off these things, yes. I do like the fact that Tony Bennett was yelling at his. Did he play for Tony Bennett?
He did not play for Tony Bennett, but he played for the university.
He played at UVA.
Yes.
So he's not there as a representative of UVA, Tony. He's there as an employee of the ACC network, right? He's there as an employee
call the game how it should be.
To call the game. Now, he's also not there to officiate the game either.
Exactly.
He's not. But Trav, if I'm Tony Bennett, I'm the coach. What was the call? Was it right or wrong? No. Actually, it was wrong. The player, it was out, whatever it is. Okay, then that's the call. I'm good.
Not if I got ratted out by the broadcast team.
Yeah, but if it's the right call, it's the right call. Yeah. That's the only thing that I'm saying. That was the same thing that I was watching yesterday. It's like, and you're a referee and you're watching the replay. Terrence Mann clearly fouls a dude. You're really going to give the ball to the Clippers?
What's
Makes
the
no
difference
sense.
with somebody behind the bench going, hey, I have a phone angle that I was recording when you went by here. Look at this. Like, the referee should referee the game, not the guy calling the game.
Well, I think then asking the question of why the broadcasters have a better angle than the referees, maybe that's the question.
That's a problem to solve. And then what's
the refs
cold...
don't get all the info.
Yeah, right.
What's cold is Brian, I'm sorry if I pronounced the name, Damaris. For Bally Sports Southwest, he decided to put it out a diss track, essentially, for James Harden. And this clip that I'm about to show for you has music put under it that was not on the broadcast, but it makes it sound more like a like a song. So I'm going to play it for you right now.
Ask the producer to pipe this into the Clippers locker room. If I can talk to you, James, I hope you're taking notes. I'm telling you in advance, you're welcome for the wisdom about this
Nas,
spew.
you know the lyrics.
Because, listen, I get on my knees every night and pray for someone to believe in me like Daryl Morey believed in you. You wanted a certain coach, they brought in Mike D'Antoni. You want to play a certain style, they played it. You wanted Dwight Howard, they brought him in and got rid of him when you were tired of him. You wanted Chris Paul, they brought him in and got rid of him when you were tired of him. They brought in your old friend Russell Westbrook. You want to go to Vegas on off days? They looked away. You wanted the team to stay over so you could go out at night? They changed the schedule, and it didn't work. And you know what? You said, I'm going to break up with my whoopee. Not good enough. I see the bright lights in New York. I want to go there. My old pal Kevin Durant. It's going to work. The big three. And after 1 year, you wanted out. You realized, oh my gosh, I took this guy for granted, the guy that believed in me. I went back with Daryl Morey. They traded Ben Simmons for you. How did they pull that off? And you know what? You went there and you got a partner who got the MVP. He won the MVP. And what did you say afterwards? You said, they didn't hand me the reins. You're the point guard. You were holding the reins. And what did you do when you had the reins? You scored 9 points in Game 7 against Boston. You blew a 3-2 series lead. So they fired their coach. Not good enough. You broke up with the guy who believed in you again. You said, the bright lights of L.A., that's where I want to go. Let's see if that works. Listen, James, have you ever had those friends who had bad roommates? Over and over, they complained about their bad roommates. This guy's terrible. The bad roommate here. They never thought to be self-aware enough that they're the bad roommate. They're the problem. Hey, James, you're the problem. If this doesn't work this year in this system with this team, then you're going to go and point fingers at everybody else, and you're going to go back home and you're going to start swiping right for another team, and there's not going to be anybody left. Because, James, you're not the beard, you're not the system, you're the problem.
All right, so mic drop.
So that's 1 minute and 56 seconds long, which is like you never play something that long in radio, right? But you had to play it all because there's not a word in that you would change. There's not one word in that whole thing that's either inaccurate, unfair, or hyperbolic. It's just fact for nearly 2 minutes about why he sucks.
And because the beat is amazing.
It's terrific.
The beat makes it. Yeah.
To be able, what's his name? Something
Brian
Damaris.
Damaris.
Brian Damaris should win. I don't know if it's an Emmy or a Grammy or something for that, because that is a tremendous takedown. Good job by you. It's terrific. Who's Hot, Who's Cold is brought to you by NextGen. NextGen, the official AC heat and plumbing company of SoCal sports fans. Call 833-3-NEXTGen or visit nextgenairandplumbing.com. The Clippers are 0-4 with James Harden. They've lost 5 games in a row.
What the heck?
It's 4 games, so you're not going to jump up but they have lost 4 games in a row with James Harden. They lost to Memphis. Memphis stinks. They lost to Memphis.
Okay. So I think what you just said is you got to think about, here's a Clippers team that has, however you want to put it, here's who's on their team. Paul George is on their team. Kawhi Leonard is on their team. Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Ivica Zubac, Norman Powell, Terrence Mann. They have a really good team on paper. There's a lot of good players. We'll figure out if they're able to mix or not. You went out and made a trade for James Harden. The Philadelphia 76ers are 8-1, and they've won 8 games in a row. Do you know that? Add that to the Clippers are sitting 0-5 since that trade went down, 0-4 in games that Harden has played in. Listen, I'm not saying that everybody has to be a fan of it. I think you and I at least both agreed, hey, it's worth the risk. What do you got to lose type of a thing. 0-4 since he's been here, and the Memphis Grizzlies, who had 1 win before.
What's the timeline before? Because, look, Kawhi's not going to say anything because Kawhi doesn't say much about anything.
Yeah.
Paul George probably won't say anything because Paul George is not, an inflammatory personality. That's not who he is. Russ might silently fume, but I don't think he's going to say anything necessarily. But clearly, you can't have this group of guys together and not win any games before something has to give. Somebody's got to move. Somebody's got to come in or out of the line. So something has to happen. It's for different circumstances, but Austin Reaves coming out of the starting lineup was, hey, look, these first 8 games don't look good. Let's try something.
Yeah.
How much longer do they continue to lose games before you say, hey, let's just try something? And which of those pieces? It's not going to be Zubats who you decide to, wear the brunt of this thing. When does it become a James Harden problem? Because the fact of the matter is, it is a James Harden problem. Everywhere he goes, it's a James Harden problem, and that's why he quits and wants to move somewhere else before everybody else realizes that.
Well, I will tell you this. I'm going to read a quote from Ty Lue yesterday that, let's just say hypothetically it's a James Harden issue. The Clippers they're all in, and it's not going to be less. It's not going to be less James Harden. This is his quote. He said he's doing too much to try to fit in. We had a meeting yesterday, and we said he needs to be James Harden. We have to allow him to be himself. We're going to play through James. So this is also not a team that's saying, we brought you in. You know what? Maybe it's not working. Let's use Harden off ball. Let's do this. No. It's going to be more James Harden. Now, maybe there's something to that. Maybe it's – I just am watching – Paul George looks like a different player, right? Kawhi might have a night where he looks good one night, and then the next night he's not the focal point. You get one basketball.
That's it.
You get one. So how you distribute that ball and how everybody feels about that ball being distributed is interesting.
You've got to find a way to both build a talented roster, but also a roster that makes some sense. They've got the talent part down. Kawhi's talented. Paul George is talented. James Harden is talented. Russell Westbrook is interesting because he can do certain things, but I don't know if those things can you make a meal when you have 4 of the same ingredients? Like, it doesn't feel like they fit really well together.
Yeah.
And I know this has been a long time, but
let's put some chicken in there. Cool. Yeah, put some beef in there.
No, you just keep adding more chichicken. It's not even beef. At least this way we're making a stew. We got chicken and beef in there. This is just more of the same thing. That when AD and LeBron came together, everybody's like, oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. They fit really well together. Paul George and Kawhi Leonard came together. You're like, okay, they're both really good, but they're pretty similar guys. Now you have Harden and Westbrook, who both need to have the ball in their hands a lot to be at the best of what it is that they do. They've got these redundancies that don't make a ton of sense.
You forgot the other version of, LeBron and AD worked, and then they tried LeBron, AD, and Russ.
Yeah.
And it didn't work.
Well,
right? That there was, like you said, a little bit of the...
It's got to make talent, number one. Got to get good players.
Yep.
Number 2, right behind it, is the pieces have to fit together reasonably well. They don't have to be perfect, but Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, and James Worthy were all great players, but they fit together really well. Bird, Parrish, McHale, it fit together. Pippen, Jordan, and, pick your third guy, whether it's Horace Grant or Dennis Rodman or Steve Kerr. Kukoc. They'd all fit well together. It wasn't where everybody's standing around going, well, you got the ball. I guess I'll just stand over here and do nothing.
Shaq and Kobe, and then
put
the role players around them.
Absolutely. The Dump coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. So I did a little college prize picks this weekend, Slee. You can win up to 25 times your money at prize picks. What you do is you pick between 2 and 6 players. You go look at their statistical projections, and then you just choose more or less. Are they going to have more passing yards than that? Are they going to have less passing yards than that? I did the Oregon SC game. I took both quarterbacks in that game. I did the game last night, the Jets and the Raiders. Picked both quarterbacks in that game. 2 to 6 players, you can win 25 times your money at Prize Picks. It is so much fun. You root for guys, you root against guys. Can't remember the last time I had so much fun watching football.
All right, it's just you against the numbers instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks. You pick more than or less than that Trav mentioned. 2 to 6 players, stat projections, and watch the winnings roll in. I'm going to throw out the website here real quick. Go to prizepicks.com/710 and use the promo code 710 for a first deposit match of up to $100. It takes about 60 seconds to submit your entry. I already got my picks in the NBA for tonight. I got more. Dennis Schroeder going to score more than 15.5 points. Pascal Siakam going to score more than 21.5 points. That's how easy it is. Use that promo code 710, prizepicks.com/710 to get that $100 deposit match.
we haven't gotten to today. Yes, it's time for the dump.
All right, Fifth Row Fridays is back this Lakers season on Mason and Ireland. This week you can win fifth row tickets to Lakers Rockets on Sunday, November 19th. Listen to Mason and Ireland every day. Take some notes. On Friday, the fan who calls in and correctly answers 5 questions will win fifth row Lakers tickets. Lakers Fifth Row Friday is presented by BBGO, the official game day snack of the Los Angeles Lakers. And they got some work to do because they lost to 34 last time against the Rockets. So a little revenge game. Who knows? Who would have known? There's a revenge game, game 13, 14 into the season against Houston.
The Rockets. Yeah. You can have a revenge game against somebody that matters. You can't have
show up to the arena at 2, Laker fans coming after their ass.
Yeah, it's a rivalry, right?
By the way, this just in from Jordan Rodriguez. She says Sean McVay says the Rams are preparing for and expecting that Matthew Stafford will return this week, and he was able to throw, grip the ball, in individuals today.
That's really good news. You and I listened to it this morning, Slee. Stafford was on with McAfee.
Yeah.
And he was asked, hey, are you thinking about not playing anymore? Or are you going to play until, I think the phrase that McAfee used was until the wheels come off. And Stafford said, well, I'm not going to play until the wheels come off. They're wobbling a little bit right now. And then he talked about, he likes to compete. He likes to be around the guys. He likes the city, et cetera, about what you would expect him to say. But I think that we're officially in the Matthew Stafford era of, I don't want to say week to week, but certainly month to month, season to season. That we're into that portion of it. And look, one throw, one hit, and he's back on the sidelines. And here comes Carson Wentz. I don't think anybody would be knock you over with a feather surprised in that scenario.
If he was here next year, and I would be surprised if he played all 17 games.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. It's just not where he is in his career. And then you start thinking, okay, because the Rams right now would pick 6th.
Yep.
That they're in that spot where if there's a quarterback that they fancy, they could
Daniels.
You could probably get your hands on somebody if you wanted one. There's McCarthy, there's Daniels, there's obviously Caleb Williams, there's Drake May, there's Shadur Sanders. There are guys out there.
Is the point that whatever Stafford ends up doing, it's not going to influence them of what they do with that pick?
I can't imagine it would. Because, look, even the most
I like the idea of drafting and also sitting a guy for a little bit.
Matthew Stafford is not your quarterback 3 years from now, right? Even probably 2 years from now feels like, I don't know. Next year, I'm fairly certain that Matthew Stafford will be your starting quarterback on opening day. Mm-hmm. But beyond that, I don't know. And maybe they're a little better next year. When's the next time you're going to get a chance to pick that high? It may be a while. So quarterbacks we know are the most valuable commodities here. And if you got one that's on the wrong side of 35 and gets hurt a lot, you got to try to plug that hole.
I guess the question is going to be the amount of pressure that you have to, no, we got to use this draft pick for something else. We're trying to win right now. Is there that kind of pressure, or is it let's just think big picture?
I think it's the second thing, because had they not won in a really long time, I think it's more urgent to try to get something on the board. Say, look, we're finally got Rams fans here know the Rams are good as an organization.
Yeah.
That it functions. They have good ownership, they have good executives, they have a good head coach, and they're able to put together something that works. Mm-hmm. Charger fans, it doesn't feel like that, right? We have to make a splash, but the Rams don't. The Rams have had enough success since they've come back that you feel pretty good about it. The rest of it, far less so. Robert Saleh, the head coach of the Jets, says that they are not changing anything at quarterback or at play caller, saying that he's going to stick with Zach Wilson as his starting quarterback despite what we saw again last night. Quote, he's actually playing pretty well, is what Robert Saleh said. Here's a quick stat for you, Slee.
Yeah, I was going to looking up his stats as we speak.
The New York Jets have not scored a touchdown in their last 36 offensive possessions. 36 offensive possessions. You get about 20 in a game, give or take. About 10 in a game, give or take. About 5.5, right?
But he's actually playing. But he's playing actually pretty well right now.
36 times the offense has had the ball and has not punched it into the end zone.
Because they have such a good defense, they've been in a lot of these games, and I know they're 4-5 on the season. There was the expectations coming in. What is the reasoning of saying we're not even going to think about trying a new quarterback? This happened in the first play of the year.
It wasn't like you had Zach Wilson on the roster and you thought, okay, we haven't really got a chance to see him. Maybe because keep in mind, he was the second pick in the draft just a couple of years ago. You got basically a full season of him last year, and it doesn't work. You've gotten a third of a season this year, I mean, closer to a half. It doesn't work. Josh Dobbs looked pretty good in Minnesota yesterday. That looks okay. The Rams went out and said, okay, Brett Rippon doesn't work. Give me Carson Wentz. They did nothing.
And they're still in a weird way in the mix, sort of. That's obviously fading quick.
They even got your Raiders a win last night, Ireland.
You mean the 2-0 Raiders under the tutelage of Antonio Pierce heading back to the Super Bowl?
That Raiders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take on anybody now.
36 possessions in a row without a touchdown.
And yet Robert Saleh is selling he's actually played. It's standing up for his guy.
But you're gonna lose the other.
I was
going to
say you're hurting all the other players that don't believe in that.
Well, I'm not so sure Robert Saleh is going to be there next year.
Wouldn't you try to salvage it at this point?
But what would you? Okay, I'll put it to the question. Hey, Robert, are you just going to keep going to Zach Wilson?
Who's there? Is it Trevor Siemian? I think is their next guy.
Yeah.
At some point, you got to just try it.
Right?
You got to try something different.
Problem was Aaron Rodgers got hurt so early on.
And he's taking up a ton of their cap space.
But he got hurt so early on
Tim Boyle, by the way.
You felt okay, after week 2, after week 4, after week 5, like you're at a point now where maybe they're just
to your point, John, as Tim Boyle, Trevor Siemian, can it be any worse?
I'll say what I say about the Lakers. If LeBron and AD, if either one of them are out, all bets are off if they're going to win that game because we're a very top-heavy roster. If the Rams, I think, looked at quarterback and said, if we have Matthew Stafford and he's healthy, we got a chance to beat anybody. But we're not going to spend any money on a backup quarterback because we're not winning if we don't have Matthew Stafford anyway. I think that's the way the Jets are looking at it.
The Texans won a bettor, a BETTOR, bettor, $5.5 million parlay. Here are the 4 legs of it. Texans needed to beat the Bengals, which they did in overtime.
It's a bold pick.
The Texans-Bengals had to go over 44.5, which it did. The Texan running back Devin Singletary needed to score a touchdown, which he did, and Singletary needed to go over 51.5 rushing yards. 4 for 4.
Jeez.
$5.5 million.
What was his initial investment?
Do we know the answer to that, Em? What his initial?
I can find it.
But to hit 4 legs of a parlay.
Yeah, because 4 legs of a parlay is normally 11-1.
Parlay.
So
$500,000.
He probably had to throw a bunch of money down on that to make it work.
Looked like it was $500,000 he put on
I could only
that's $500,000 I'm not risking.
If you're throwing $500,000 on that, can you tell me how much this guy has lost in other bets?
Well,
my gosh.
Not yesterday, Slee. Yesterday he got $5.5 million richer. Jorge, let's do a little Super Cross Talk.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Mason and Ireland to join Travis and Slee?
Super Crosstalk begins. Super Crosstalk presented by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger is all about.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
Sliwa is our last hope, Ireland.
And Juan, Mason's partner.
Oh, yes.
Still
That's right. Juan is still in it.
Those are the only 2 guys I know that are still alive. You went out. Mason went out. Cates went out. Bergman went out.
Did you go out yesterday?
I went out 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, Mason's mom went out last week.
Who clipped you? Who
I was
broke your heart?
game?
Buffalo. They were supposed to. They had a game that they were heavily favored in and blew it in the end. And Slee, it's down to 10. Do you have good teams left, or have you used most of your good teams?
I think we saw, and
he hasn't used the Lions yet, and they play the Bears in Detroit this weekend.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So you got one more. You got a chance to go another week.
That's the one.
That is I would.
If you make it to the Final Four, they'll ask you if you want to chop. That happened to you last year, right?
It did, and I kept saying yes, but somebody else in the Final Four kept saying no.
Right.
And
that's right.
A seldom used rule where we all lost on the exact same week meant it was an auto
and they said we're done with it.
Yeah,
we're just paying out all you
done.
guys.
Would you take a percentage, Slee?
So same situation that you were in. 3 of us and 2 of them said, hey, let's...
Everybody's got to unanimously agree.
Yeah, if one person says they don't want to chop, you don't chop.
If they both wanted to chop, I'm okay with chopping.
You should be okay with chopping no matter what. just because this was a $25 investment, and you're laughing. If
it was 130, I think 130 entries.
Yeah, you're laughing if you get paid anything. But good for you that you're still alive. Who knocked you out, Trav?
Yesterday, Cincinnati.
Everybody.
That knocked Mason out too, right?
Yeah.
And Bergman and Cates.
And Boyd dropped a touchdown
that
would have probably won the game because they would have been up 4 with about 90 seconds left. Who knows? But it would have been better than going to OT.
All right, so let me ask you guys your advice on something. I'm in a confidence pool.
Okay.
There's 30 people in it. All right, so here's how a confidence pool works. There were 14 games this week, so you rank, like the team you feel the best about, you give them a 14. I gave the Bengals a 13.
Ooh.
And but everybody in the pool, all 30 of us took the Bengals.
Yeah, and that's why you can live with it.
Right, but here's my dilemma. The top 2 places get paid. The top guy gets paid a weekly win fee, and second place guy gets paid a weekly win fee, and everybody else below that,
where are you
just pile up the points.
Third or fourth?
I'm 4th.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
I know what you're going to ask. Go ahead.
I have Buffalo tonight, and I have 12 on Buffalo. But I don't get to see until the game starts what the 3 people ahead of me pick, but I know they picked Buffalo.
Okay. They played the Broncos?
Yes.
Yeah.
If I take the Broncos, I have a chance
to change your pick?
I can, right up until kickoff.
Okay.
If I take the Broncos, I have a chance to steal the whole thing. If I don't, I'll probably sink to about 15th because everybody's taken Buffalo. And Buffalo, I don't know if I want to give
How many points out of the money are you? Like, are you a ways away?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, then you got to do it.
But I don't think Denver has a chance. Do you? The game's look this up, Slee. The game's in Buffalo, right?
Okay.
Here's why they have a chance. Since they gave up 70 to Miami, they've actually been decent.
And the Bills have been struggling, but
Bills have been struggling.
I don't think the Bills are going to lay an egg. And here's the other thing. People that are 2 and 3 are thinking the exact same way I am.
Yeah.
They're thinking, okay, my only chance to jump into the money is to switch and take Denver. So I could outsmart myself here. We all 4 of us could outsmart ourselves and take Denver.
Yeah, it's in Buffalo.
You got 8 weeks left, right? Does it go through the end of the season?
Yeah.
You got 8. You don't have to do crazy stuff yet. Let it play out.
Okay.
Right?
So just stick with Buffalo and ride it.
Whatever you think that the right pick is today.
I think Buffalo wins the game.
Yeah, I do too. But if you get down to the last 3 or 4 weeks and you got to make wild swings.
Yeah, you're right. That's what I'll do.
Yeah.
I'll just start goofing around in the last month.
Yeah, take a game
because
that's
there's 7-8 weeks left.
Yeah, there's 8 weeks left, and take a couple of those pick'em games and put them at your 16s and 15s.
Right,
and hope you get them right
and see if you get lucky.
Yeah, Lions will be my pick.
Yeah,
I had to make sure that I haven't picked them. I have not picked them.
Is this?
And I think most other people, I know I picked them early in the year. So
is this the official end of Mason's work streak?
Friday.
It was Friday. He didn't work Friday either.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and who knows how long he'll stay out. I mean,
is this a scheduled day off or is he ill?
Yes. No. But
he went 50 plus
58 straight shows without missing one, which for him is extraordinary. I fear we may not see him again until after Thanksgiving. He says he's coming in tomorrow. Jorge, is he coming in tomorrow, do you think?
Hell no.
Yeah, I'm not betting on it. So, we'll see when he shows up again.
I tried selling Travis that you guys are doing the Fifth Row Fridays, and it's the game against the Rockets.
I met the winners last night. The winners of Fifth Row Friday are so appreciative. It's so fun. It's so fun meeting them. Last night was a guy who brought his son, his young son, and they were right down there near the court. It was really cool.
They probably love waving back to you and Michael, like,
yes,
how are those seats up there?
Much better seats.
How is that up there?
They have much better seats than anybody at 710. Yeah.
But we were talking about Lakers got the Rockets for that game, the game that you guys are going to be giving away. I tried selling Trav that it's not only a rivalry game, but it's a payback game.
How's it a rivalry game?
Because they lost by 34, and I was encouraging Laker fans to come at 2 o'clock.
with no AD.
2 o'clock for that game, and just really, just think of the environment that it's going to be for Lakers Rockets.
Well, that was before Cam Reddish was reborn.
Damn right.
Now that Cam Reddish has been reborn, we're taking those guys down.
Am I just being a hater by not jumping onto the Cam Reddish train?
Yes, of course you are. When he missed that shot in Miami, I was sending text to, I just goofing around, sending text to my friends saying, okay, we're on to Houston. I just got to convince Cam Reddish to stop shooting threes. Sure enough, 2 games later in Phoenix, he hits the 3 that wins the game.
Yep. It's 5 threes that game.
I'm not going to tell anybody to stop shooting anything. I'm just going to shut up and do my job.
How big of a deal is it that Austin Reaves is out of the starting 5?
Not, as long as they win.
Yeah.
They're 2-0 since they started doing it. And I know, I probably know Austin as well as I know anybody in the team. Him and D'Angelo Russell. And Austin doesn't care as long as they win. He really doesn't. I heard you guys talking about this, and I know you were saying that it is something and it's kind of a big deal.
It's not the something of it all. It's the timing of it.
Yeah.
That it happened 8 games into the season, I think. Is
Reaves won't make it a big deal.
No, I don't think it's a big deal
It's
for
just
him.
the idea that...
I can assure you that as long as they win, he doesn't care. If they start losing, he may go back to Darvin and go, hey, put me back in the beginning, and then Darvin will have a decision to make. But I've seen, like, I remember this with Lamar Odom when Phil Jackson was our coach, and Phil had to go to Lamar and tell him, hey, I'm going to bring you off the bench. Lamar's like, Phil, I was the second player picked in the draft. I've been an all-star. I don't deserve this. This is not only embarrassing, but it's demeaning. And Phil went, well, you're talking to a guy who played behind Dave DeBusschere and
Bradley
and Bill Bradley and Willis Reed, and I had a great career, and it's because we won. And Phil talked Lamar into doing it, and Lamar, in the first year they did it, won Sixth Man of the Year, and the Lakers won the title. And he never cared after that about it. I know Darvin threw out Manu Ginobili. Another great example is Andre Iguodala. Through the whole Warriors championship run, which started in 2014. Do you guys even remember when Steve Kerr got that job? Okay, remember they fired Mark Jackson because everybody in the building hated him. And Mark decided to make he decided to tell all the players, it's us against the world.
Right.
It's us against everybody in the building.
It's us against you.
And when Jerry West came to practice, Mark said, what are you doing here? Get the F out. That kind of thing. I don't know if he said F, but so they bring in Steve Kerr. And do you guys they had Curry, they had Clay, they had Draymond, they had all those guys. Do you remember who the highest paid player on that team was?
Was it Draymond or Iguodala?
Nope.
It was a guard.
Double David Lee was the highest paid player on that team.
I was thinking Monte Ellis.
And David Lee was the highest paid player, was the starting 4, and he got hurt for a couple of weeks. And they put Draymond in there for him because they needed to put somebody in there. And Steve Kerr had to go to David Lee after those 2 weeks and say, hey, man, we're playing as good as we've played since I got here, and I'm not taking Draymond out of the starting lineup. I'm going to bring you off the bench. And David Lee said to Kerr, and Kerr still talks about this to this day, he said, Coach, as long as we win, I don't care. And he said the same thing to Iguodala. When they got Iguodala, who had been an all-star in Philadelphia and an all-star in Denver, and he went to Iguodala, and he said, Andre, I can't start you. I've got all these people, starting, and I have Kevin Durant and Draymond Green, and you're not tall enough to play center, so I gotta play Kevon Looney, and I'm not gonna take Stephen Clay. I gotta bring you off the bench. And Iguodala said to Kerr, Coach, I don't care as long as we win. If we start losing, I'm going to be on you about putting me in the lineup. And they went on a run and win. Players don't care as long as you win. Michael's told me that story before, too. Michael was the number 1 pick in the draft, the whole draft. Gets traded to the Lakers, and he's on a team that has, like, AC Green and Kurt Rambis and guys like that, and Worthy and hi Momo. Hey. And Jerry West told Michael from the get-go, you're not going to start, but you're going to play a lot and you're going to help us. And Michael said, Jerry, as long as we win, you won't hear a word from me. Players care about winning.
And they're going to get, Reaves in the first game on Friday played 35 minutes.
Yeah, and he's been out there in the fourth quarter, and he's been making big shots.
I was going to say, and Michael says the same thing, too, of it's not whether you start the game. Are you finishing the game?
Right.
That's if you ask any player, don't they want to be in the most crucial time of the game?
Think about everybody I just brought up. At the end of games, Lamar Odom was in there.
Sure.
At the end of games,
Ginobili
was in there. At the end of games, Andre Iguodala was in there, and none of those guys were starters.
So how many guys, though, have the initial reaction that Lamar had when you were talking about, like, that Phil Jackson went to him, he's like, no, that's not, it had to be explained.
I can tell you for a fact that Austin didn't love this.
Yeah.
Lamar didn't love it.
Right. Lamar fought it. And Austin told Darvin, look, you're the coach and I'll do whatever you want, but I'm going to try and work my way back into the starting lineup. And Darvin said, just trust me on this and let's see where it goes. And they're 2-0. And by the way, this is coming for the Clippers.
What do you mean,
John? I wanted to get to this because
one of those two guys who are both extremely prideful Ty Lue is going to have to say to either Russ or Harden, look, we're going to stagger you guys, and one of you guys is not going to start. And you know me, I love Russ. He's like
it's easy one.
He's gonna hate it. And they may even say it to James. They might go to James and say, look, we were playing better before you got here. We're going to bring you off the bench and have you on the second. And those guys are going to hate it, but they can't keep doing this. And
they've lost 5 in a row, 4 in a row with Harden, and they lost to Memphis last night.
Yeah, I texted Ramona yesterday, and I said, if they don't do something, I think they're going to fire Ty. Now, you disagree,
I
right?
said, absolutely not. They will not fire Ty Lue. He's one of the best coaches in the NBA, and it's not his fault.
Whose fault is it?
But do you agree with me that they've got to talk to those two guys?
Yeah, it's going to be one or the other. And I agree with you on that I don't know who it'll be. In the Lakers' case, I think they had a choice. You either have D'Lo come off the bench or you have Reaves come off the bench because they clearly needed a better point of attack defender. They need somebody who can, do what Cam Reddish has done, right?
Right.
It might be Vanderbilt when he's back in there.
Yep.
Okay. So one of those guys has to come off the bench. We already know it didn't go well when D'Lo came off the bench.
Right.
Right. He was upset and didn't play well, and he was, pouting. Reaves took it. I mean, as you say, he wasn't happy about it.
Right. But
he did it last year.
The thing he said to me, and I know he said this to Darvin, is as long as we win, I don't care.
Yeah.
Go back to the clips for a second. Who's the person in the locker room? Not the coach, the player.
Okay.
Who's the person that everyone listens to?
Russell Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook is
because
the person.
Russ is the one doing all the
alpha.
talking.
Okay, let me give you the personality breakdown because we only have a couple minutes before you guys like to leave, right?
12 seconds to be precise.
Make your point and tell in 12 seconds.
Russ is the alpha. Paul George is too nice. James Harden just got there and doesn't want to ruffle feathers, and Kawhi doesn't say anything.
There you go.
12 seconds?
That's pretty good.
That was brilliant.
So if it's the guy that is the leader, that is the alpha, that does do the talking, can he be the one that has to go sit down, or does he need to be the one that's still in the lineup?
I think he stays in the lineup. I think Harden is the...
I agree
with you. It's crazy because Harden is the guy that Ty Lue basically said, you say you're the system, go be the system. And everybody else is trying to be like, he's the new sun, and you're going to revolve around him, and he's great when you know how to revolve around him.
Except for the sun can't quit.
Right. And here's
a lot of cloudy days.
He did all the right things yesterday. He sat on the bench during the fourth quarter. And then the second he came back in, he hit a big 3 for them. I thought that was a really big moment for them. The next time, I don't know, was it blocked or did he hit an air ball? I don't know.
Right.
But he stood there in his locker. He answered questions afterwards. I walked out with him, and he was forthright, and he wasn't running from it yet.
Would you be shocked if Russ said, no, I'll come off the bench? Like you said, he's the vocal leader. He's this, he's that. What if he's the one that takes the initiative? Like, hey, let's try something different.
Would you be shocked if I said, I would like to change my name to Tabitha?
Yeah, I can tell you, as somebody who's been a Russell Westbrook fan for his whole career, that is not happening.
No effing way. Come on.
At this stage of his career, he's on a minimum 1-year deal.
See if I have this right. The guy that's acted the same way every day for his entire life will not act differently tomorrow?
Yeah.
Right?
It is not happening. He may come out and say all the right things, but he is the most...
I don't even think he'll say the right things.
He is the most competitive athlete I have ever covered. He has Kobe Jordan level competitiveness.
Yeah.
If you put Russell Westbrook on a lie detector and said, we got one shot to save the world.
Yep.
And either you, Harden, Kawhi, Paul George, or Terrence Mann can take it, Russ would say, give me the ball.
You say Zubats.
He'd give me the ball. I mean, he's that guy. So, but that's why you pay Ty Lue $5 million.
Sure.
He's got to make a hard decision.
Doesn't he make more than that? Is that what he makes?
Yeah, I think so. I think they gave him...
He should get a raise.
Five.
I mean, like Monty Williams is making 13 now.
Take some of the Fisher
maybe
money.
Maybe they're giving him 6. I don't know. Yeah.
Super Crosstalks brought to you by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out, that's what a hamburger is all about. We'll see you tomorrow.
Every